Yeah. All right. Awesome. All right, guys, we are back. Yes. It's been a couple of months, a couple of rough months. A lot of people have been moving and shaking. We had some tech difficulties, had to basically build a new computer, and had a couple issues with that, but looks like right now we're doing pretty good. So hopefully we can continue on with our regular schedule, which will be, our next game is on December 15th. After that, we're going to do a bit of a hiatus. We're going to skip one game for the holidays and hopefully come back with some surprises for you guys with that, which is January. I have to come up with that date, but I'll post it when I get that date going, because I think the one that we're skipping is like the 31st or something like that of December.
Hang on, I can see.
Okay. So I want to say it's like the 12th.
The 29th.
Huh? The 29th. So we're going to skip the 29th.
Last December.
Yeah, the last one of December, and then we're going to do January 2 weeks from that. January 11th. Okay. But hopefully we can come back with some surprises for you guys. Hopefully some studio surprises and some other stuff going on. We'll see what happens. Let's see, other announcements. Last time we were here, we were supposed to do a giveaway. We are still going to do that. We'll give it about a week, see who wants to join us, join the tribe, and we'll do the giveaway. Probably beginning of next week. I'll put it on all the socials for the winners for the Big Dice Energy bag, which I don't have one on me right now, but
I had one on my. I think I left it at home.
All right. Cool. But we'll get those. We'll get that giveaway going and get those out to the lucky winners of that. Let's see, other announcements. Oh yeah, so I won't be there, but PAX South is coming up next month in January. That is actually in San Antonio, where we are located. So some of us, I believe, are planning on going. So if you're planning on going to PAX South, look for us. We'll, be around talking to people. Possibly on some panels. I'm not too sure about that yet. Haven't heard back yet from them, but we might have some panels going as well. And then let's see, other announcements. Can't think of anything else. I think that's it. All right, so on to the game. Last we left off about 2 months ago.
Or three. Or three.
It was like the middle of September.
Like 2 and some change.
It's too long.
It was like
what
3 months.
It was way too long. We missed each other. We missed our characters. We're definitely ready for this. So the group, this is episode 7. So in the first 6 episodes, real quick, the group ended up in a town called Chesterfield. And the very first night, they were almost burned because the inn that they were staying in was set aflame, and later found out they actually ended up helping get that put out, but later found out that it might have had something to do with another resident called Don. He ended up hiring the group to help him find something that his boss was looking for. And the group, they kind of did some things in the city. They visited a couple of shops. They visited
a library I could not get into.
Yeah, we had Moon tried to go to the library. Didn't work out. Maybe in the future, we'll see about that. They ended up finding out, going to a warehouse.
Well, the nut factory.
The nut factory, yes. The nut factory. That was a hilarious episode. You guys definitely got to watch that one if you haven't already.
Overdose.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you could have too many nuts.
It was so good. But yeah, ended up sneaking into a nut factory and with one of the clues that they got from Don, and ended up finding the next clue, which actually led them to an infamous person in Chesterfield. So they ended up at what the town calls the Hag's House. and found out she's not really a hag. She's just, there was, something that happened in the past where a few people might have gotten hurt. A sort of, jilted, maybe lover type thing. But she was actually fairly nice, if a little snobbish, but fairly nice. And the group ended up in basically a caretaker's shed for a graveyard, and found a secret lair of sorts. Not sure who this lair really belongs to, but they ended up running through a puzzle with some deities and some statues, and ended up figuring out the puzzle and was able to enter the secret lair where they actually got a hold of a few good magic items. And that was the end of their quest with Don. He ended up paying them their money.
Paying our money.
And and basically where we left off is just after that, the group decided to go back to the inn the rest of the night. So right now we're going to be waking up from their long rest from that night. And by the way, we are missing 2 people tonight due to life. So hopefully they'll be here with us for the next game. So you guys are at the Rested Night Inn, just waking up the day after solving this puzzle, and it's a pretty nice morning. Nothing is too crazy going on. You don't hear a lot of loud noises. Nothing burning.
Anytime something's not on fire, it's a good day.
All right. So, what do you guys want to do?
Well, I'm gonna get up.
Okay.
And I feel like I left my door cracked just in case somebody decided to lock me in there again. I'm a little paranoid after last time.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna go into the hall and go up to the common eating area.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and then wait for them to show up.
Okay. And as you enter the eating area, you're greeted by Rin.
Mm-hmm.
Moon! Oh,
Good morning.
good morning. Good morning.
Coffee.
Good morning. Right on it. And yeah, he runs off to grab some coffee for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. You guys in?
I'm old, I'm sleeping in.
Yeah, I'm still snoozing.
Still Susan?
Yeah.
And I'm young,
What?
so I'm just hopping around. I'm
So she's
reading my Bible.
she's in my room, isn't she?
Yeah. I mean, you usually share rooms, so.
Gross. I was reading my Bible, enjoying opening the window.
It's okay.
It feels great to not be on fire.
And this is why I need coffee before George comes out of her room.
A few moments later, Rin brings you
Thank you.
a mug with some coffee.
Gentleman and a scholar. Thank you. Anything interesting happened last night, Dawn?
It seemed to be pretty quiet last night. Yeah, nothing I can think of.
Okay, awesome. Awesome.
Got some more work done on the barn, trying to get it redone.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Did you find your horses?
Are you
Are you out of your room?
I walk out of the
Yeah, because I can't people talk. That's not a thing that I do.
Oh, I'm very charming. I'll speak to Mr. Wren.
George, yes, we actually did. The stable hands were able to find all the horses. One of them was a little bit injured, but the rest of them were fine.
Oh, I could pray over them if you'd like.
Oh, sure, yes. Thank you.
Oh, Moon, good morning.
Yeah,
How'd you sleep?
great. It's great.
I see you have a cup of joe in front of you. I'm a little too young for coffee, but I'm just so energetic. I don't need it.
You will never need coffee, ever.
Well, thank you, Moon. I
In
appreciate
life.
that. Since last night, don't you just have a hankering for adventure? Don't you just want to go out? We already helped Mr. Don. What are we gonna do now?
Where's Mama B?
She's sleeping. I tucked her in last night. Yeah.
Where? And so I'm gonna go down to tap on the door of
Okay.
Mama B and be like, look, you kinda can get this kid.
Some small talk. Come
Mama
on.
B, Mama B.
too energetic?
Mama B. Yep. Please, Good morning. Hi, you want some coffee? I got some coffee for you. Mama B.
Moon, it is very early.
I know, and George is awake, so guess what?
Mama B, buenos dias.
There, George. Yeah, talk to Mom. She'll take care.
You're in trouble.
You know what? I can take it as long as you're awake.
Sure.
Fine, I go downstairs.
All right. Mama.
Hi!
Those tamales. Oh, that you cooked last time and let me sell. Oh my goodness, those are gone.
Yes.
They were so good. Everybody loved them.
Oh, okay. Yes. I was going to try something new today instead. We did the mole, right? And we did the tamales, and
I think it was just those two. Yeah.
it's just those two. Let's do something more simple this
I'm
time.
gonna walk over to Mama V and say, remember, we got stuff to do today. We cannot spend the whole day cooking. We have to go by
something
her
quick.
house.
Something quick. Whose house? Where are we going?
The woman, whatever her name is, you know who I'm talking about. The one who gave us this stuff, who the box belonged to.
Oh, okay. So
We have to go over there to
Zamir.
help her because we owe her. We have
okay.
to go back. We told her we would
Okay.
go back after
Well,
we helped
the
on.
thing is if I cook now, then we all eat later. It's all good. It's fine. I'll be real quick. So
I tried. I'm gonna go to my corner and I'm gonna read.
Okay.
It's not gonna take me very long. I'm gonna do a real quick like video.
Okay.
So that he, make enough for the girls to eat and then for me to eat and then whatever's left over he can sell.
Yeah, I'm in the corner with my coffee.
Okay. Alrighty.
Are you still sleeping?
You still sleeping?
Oh, I'm not gonna wake up until I smell the food, so.
Okay. Alright. Well, fortunately, Fideo doesn't take very long to start smelling very good.
Damn it.
So you get maybe an extra 15 minutes of sleep.
Well, at least George didn't wake me up.
I knew not to get you for George. No, I need to get Mama B.
Why?
You
You're
can't
worse
rein me
than I
in.
am. No.
Wow.
She needed an abuelita and that's what we got her.
Okay, so Maz, yes, about 15 minutes after Mama B starts cooking, you smell the delicious aroma of Fideo.
Good morning.
Maz, good morning. Aw. Y'all are grumpy today. We just got treasures last night. Aren't you guys happy?
Why don't you eat?
Okay.
I love you, George.
So you guys
So energetic.
sit down and eat your hearty meal of Fideo.
She's so hyper.
She's
The best.
And after you finish, Rin comes over and he collects your dishes and everything. Was there anything else that I could help you with?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
You can help me, Ren.
Yes,
You can,
George.
you can have a great day.
Oh
Talk to you later, bud.
It's always a great day seeing you, George.
Thank you.
Mama B, this is why I came to get you.
But she's always so happy.
I know, and she could be
Aw.
happy with you. I am not trying to squash her happiness, which is why.
It's like she is the sun and you are the moon.
I worship the sun god. That's a deep cut.
So guys, we have to go back. We promised her we would go back after we took care of Don's stuff because he was the one paying our bills. So we have to go back. We have to go back to our house.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Yo.
Yeah,
There's nothing else.
Don't
y'all-
touch nothing.
Maybe she'll let us in this time.
She did.
Oh, I
That's
didn't
how
touch
we
anything.
know to go back.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I didn't touch
12-year-olds.
anything last
Alright.
time. I didn't touch anything last time.
Because she told you last time not to touch anything.
Did she?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I did a little bit.
All right,
Control the
so
king side.
you guys head out of the rested night, hanging a right on the road, and about 10-15 minutes down the road, you see the large probably 3-story like spiraling house that looks like it really doesn't belong in this city. And that's the one that you saw during the first time, and you're just like, okay. And I think that made apparently several of you want to go and knock on the door because it didn't quite work.
Yeah. Mama,
But-
I think you should send in one of your brainwaves because she recognizes your voice, I think, better than mine. So send her a message that we're back.
I don't remember if I sent her a message. I can't do that unless I'm looking at her, so let's just knock.
Oh, well, I can try.
We can just knock.
Well,
But she doesn't
it's
answer.
taking forever to make decisions.
I'm trying to
So-
get us in the house.
So Maz knocks on the door, and you wait a few minutes, and then you hear a few locks, and the door opens.
Okay.
Good day, Zamir. I brought some filet for you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Mama V, was it?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Thank you so much. You have finished your quest?
Yes, we've done our job with Dawn, and so now we're running around and getting back to you, like we said we would.
Oh, that's so kind of you.
You're welcome.
Come in. So yeah, you guys, she ushers you into the house. And if you remember, it was pretty grand on the inside. A lot of like antiques and breakable things. A lot of
Okay. I get it.
just very kind of upscale area. But she actually takes you in through to the second floor, which is where you guys were kind of had your conversation before, where the library was. And so then you see walls lined with books and other little like antiques and knickknacks and stuff like that.
And so I'm gonna go browse the shelves because that's what I do.
Okay.
I will keep my tail to myself.
Okay.
And I do want to ask her, I know we found the box for you. Was it that you wanted us to help find whoever took it in the first place? Remind me of what you needed. I'm sorry.
So yes, this box that had a something in it that belonged to my grandmother. It had been stolen about 60 years ago, and at the time, all of the clues pointed to Sorel, who was my partner at the time, and so I may have taken it out on him. But it seems with the additional clues that you have brought to me with this box, it doesn't seem like it was him. So I would like to find out, I know it was 60 years ago, but to see if we could find out who actually had taken the box and for what reason.
That's right, a nice little mystery we can solve to get the lovers back together.
Is that the goal?
Do you say this all loud?
Wow.
Do you see this humming to myself in the corner? A little happy
And
dad.
I'm looking at the books like, or just to find out who stole her shit. Like, I don't understand.
And while she's distracted, I'm actually gonna take my tail and just try to just to touch something.
See,
I
if
can't
you
help
get us
it.
kicked out, your problem. I
Make
would
a
not
sleight
mess
of
with
hand
it.
check.
Yeah, I
I
would
just
not
want to
mess.
touch it. I'm just
And
curious.
you said while she wasn't looking, and
While
all of that.
Mama V wasn't looking.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check.
Yeah.
22.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Dang it, you gonna get us killed,
and
man.
your passive perception.
My passive perception?
So yeah, no, she does not notice your tail.
So I have a small little moment of joy. That's like something you didn't notice.
All right.
Okay.
Where do you think you? Okay. What do you remember about when it went missing? What do you remember about that day, that night?
About that time. Well, I can't say that I remember anything that, like specifically that day that was off that happened with me. I do know around that time there were a lot of people that already lived here and a few new people kind of coming into town.
Okay.
And they were wanting to basically jump on the nut bandwagon.
We know what happens when we jump on the nut bandwagon. It's not a pretty picture.
And so from what I remember, people were trying to come up with like different recipes and like just like top secret things so that they can outdo one another. And I was kind of part of that for a while. I had some spices and some herbs from around the world and from different planes that I thought would bring a very special flavor to this town. But and they were actually in that box with the necklace from my grandmother. And it was all stolen altogether.
Was there anybody that was hanging around you a lot at that time?
Let's see.
60 years.
Well, definitely Sorrel. We were living together at the time. He had a little business with a few people. He still owned the shop, but I don't know names, but he did have some business with a few people that has since fallen off. So you might want to ask him about that, because he could still technically be involved, even though some of the clues are pointing in a different direction. But yeah, that's it. And oh wait, there was. Oh, you know what? I did talk to around that time. I talked to oh geez, so I can remember his name. The father of the one who disappeared, that used to own the nut factory before Marsh. Let me see if I can find it.
Who was that?
Charles Flint.
Yes,
Charles
Charles
Flint.
Flint. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So the father
he
of Charles
disappeared.
Flint?
Yes.
So he knew that's one of Sorrel's friends.
Charles Flint was Sorrel's friend?
Well, no. So Charles Flint used to own the nut factory before Marsh, and he disappeared. And so his wife actually sold the nut factory to Marsh.
Okay, so Charles Flint.
We would need to look for his dad if we wanted to ask his father, if we wanted to ask any questions.
Yes.
I thought his father was the one that
Was missing.
No, it was Charles.
Okay.
So,
But it was Charles Flint's wife that sold the shop to Marsh?
Yes.
Do we know the dad's name? Or where he might be now? Does he live in town?
That I do not know. I did not keep track of him.
Okay, we can ask Sorrel about it.
Oh yeah, and apparently Charles Flint's wife, I remember they live in the district near the marketplace. So maybe we can go visit them.
Just father missing Charles. Conversation about recipes. I read
This
that.
is why she's the queen of notes.
Thank you. Woo, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Remember all this stuff.
60 years and 3 months, 2 months.
Okay, wait. I think that was it. Yes, the name of the factory was Laid to Roast.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, what am I missing now? Oh, there we go. Ha. Sorry, y'all. It has been a minute. Trying to remember all of these. Ah, there it is. Oh no, I'm sorry. It was not his father. It was actually Charles.
Yeah, Charles disappeared.
Yes.
His wife sold the factory to Marsh.
Yes. Sorry, I'm not sure where I got the father from, but Charles is the one that she was dealing with a long time ago. Yes.
So we need to find the wife.
Yes.
I think. George thinks, I mean.
Same.
Same. So let's go find that lady.
Is there anything else you think you can help us if we're gonna do this? And how far do you want us to push it? Can I ask that? Because it's been 60 years.
Yeah.
You clearly still held anger when you thought you knew who it was.
Uh-huh.
So how deep do you want us to go for this? And is there any incentive the more deep we dig?
I would like to know if Sorrel was involved. If
Okay,
you
so
can
it's
find
really
out that he's not
elimination.
involved and you don't find out who actually did this, then that would be fine with me.
Okay. All right.
So what happens if he was involved, Miss Denier?
We continue to be estranged.
So you're saying
But he keeps
didn't.
breathing, so there's a win there. Is all I'm saying. Is what I'm hearing.
She'll bring down fire and brimstone upon him. Probably.
We've had that. That's been done. So
Okay.
yes.
All right. So, anything else y'all want to ask before we go find Sorrel?
No? Are you gonna try the fideo?
Oh, sure.
I want you to eat it. I want to look at you while you take your first
That
bite.
is such a 12-year-old thing to say. Try it.
He's been holding it like an hour. Please try it. I can heat it up with you. I have
We will
fireballs.
leave you in peace to eat or not eat. It is your life.
You should eat them.
We will go, George. We will go.
Nice to see you,
So I'm
Xavier.
like shooing George out the door. See, Woman, this is your job.
What did she know she liked it?
We already did.
We'll talk to her later. It is fine.
She's watching this whole exchange. She's just like, and you really haven't seen her laugh, but like she's like on the verge of laughing right now, and she just kind of shakes her head, and you see her kind of do like a little symbol in the air, and you see a spoon come floating out of the other room to her,
Ooh.
and
This
she
is why
grabs
you're not
it.
supposed to touch stuff. She's a gangster, and we don't need that in our lives.
You can make stuff float.
Hey, she didn't find out.
And she takes a bite.
Is it good?
Ah, yes, this is very good.
The first word you say is going to be in her face. Is it good?
Is it good? Are you challenging her?
I wanted to know.
I mean, good things.
This is why me and George are friends.
Really, we're on the same wavelength, weirdly.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we
Yes,
can go now.
it's very great. Thank you.
A smile looks great on you, Xavier.
Yes, it does.
I see why Sorrel fell for you those many years ago.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
George.
I am
So I put my arm
sorry.
around George. I'm like, it's time to
Get
go.
out.
Okay, see you later.
I like to pat George on the
Out to get out. Oh my god.
Yes. Wow. Okay. You guys leave Sadir's house.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
I whispered to George, that's totally the reason why he fell for her.
All right. Okay. So where to?
I think we're heading to the bookstore, right? That's when
To Sorrel.
the local history or bookstore, whatever shop he has.
Yes.
Yeah.
to Sorrel.
What was the name of his store?
The
Something with a nut.
the
Oh, the nutty scholar.
Nutty Scholar.
Yeah.
Something about nuts.
There's nothing about nuts. Yeah, nobody's color.
Wow.
I sense a theme.
There are a few places that don't have nuts or any other form of nut
Very
in
few.
it, but
We've
But
not
my-
gone there yet.
Yes, we have. That one place about, I don't know, something about,
The rested night.
the rest of the night does not
yeah,
either.
the
yes.
rested night and something.
There
But
was
even that's
And there's nothing but herbs. That's
Yes,
about it.
that one. Nothing.
Well, actually, no, that one did because it was
Yeah.
like
Oh,
nut
wait.
thin.
Oh, yeah.
Butter.
Oh, that's the way you spelled
Can we
it.
just
So-
go to Sorrel's to get this over with?
Okay.
Yes,
Oh,
and
Moon
if
is
you remember,
grouchy today still, even with coffee.
and if you
George,
remember,
I met George the first thing this morning.
the Nutty Scholar. The Nutty Scholar is actually within viewing distance of Zanir's house, so it's just a few.
It's just down the road.
Yeah, just down the road on the other
They run
side.
into each other all the time. They still act
So
shady.
they watch each other basically. They see each other.
Okay.
Creepy.
Uh,
Alright.
So yes, you get to the shop and enter, and inside you see Sorrel in his robes, very colorful robes, and he's like, "Oh wow, it's been a minute since I've seen you all."
Look, I brought some fideo this time.
She stares
I
You are such a
What
good
are
one.
you
What
supposed
do you eat for lunch?
The quickest way to anybody's heart is through their stomach.
And this is why we have you, because
This
it's
is my.
Oh no! What is that?
Thank you. This is my work of art, my obra.
She's the
also
food
why we
slash
bring
story
you.
bard.
and it works. So
Right?
this is why I hang with her. She watches George and feeds people. That's what I mean.
Look, you want something to be asked? You tell George. No one's gonna get mad at her.
Valid.
All right. So, yes. Were you here to shop? What do you need?
Well, we're coming on a little bit of an information finding.
Okay.
So we actually came across a very rare box not that long ago. It was really
Big
quite
typing.
beautiful. It was wooden and it was old and it had a Z on it. And we actually took it to Zanir because that was the only person we knew that had a Z in their name. And it turned out to be hers.
And when you say her name, you see like storm clouds. Like the face gets like dark, and you
I
can
was
see
hoping
like
you
his
weren't gonna say her
eyes.
name.
He's been triggered, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point he's being very he's kind of closed off a bit, but continues.
Should have waited for they gave it to him later. I knew this was gonna happen. Okay.
Can we come inside? Did you get a chance to try the video yet? I know we're just outside the door. I don't like
No,
standing in the door.
you're in.
We're
Oh,
in.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're in.
He's
We're
runs
inside
the
the shop.
business. He can't turn us down.
And what do I have to do with this box?
Well, she seemed to say that it was what she was looking for a long time ago. She said somebody took it and she doesn't know who at this point.
Yes, she believed it was me, even though I told her on numerous occasions that it was not. And she never believed me.
Oh, that's very sad. Now we have the box. You obviously didn't take it. We didn't find it here, that's for sure.
So I'm sitting there like, that aside, like, think back, I know y'all were close, even if you're not now. So thinking back, what did you think happened? What did you think happened with the box? I know it was very important to her, but what was your theory that she wasn't willing to listen to?
At the time, there were a lot of rivalries going around
About the
in
recipe
town
thing?
about different recipes, and
I don't cook, so I don't understand, but
it was
I know.
It's Chesterfield. It's a serious thing here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I figured somebody found out about what she was doing and wanted to take that for themselves. But unfortunately, nothing came out in the time after that we could tell that used those spices and herbs that she was using. So at that point, it just kind of, the whole thing kind of fizzled out.
So you just think it was about the spices too?
I mean, that was really the only thing in there other than
Her grandmother's
necklace, yeah.
Is there anybody you can remember being around more often than not that wasn't around after it went missing?
There were a few. Actually, there were a few people that have become fairly prominent in town. Some farmers that have groves of trees and make recipes and stuff. The only ones that I remember talking to, there was one called Tomas. Tomas and oh man, what was the other guy's name? There was this guy, and he was kind of, I don't know, something didn't seem right with him. I don't know. I just never really trusted him. Oh God, what was his name? It was, oh, hold on.
I know it's been a while.
Yeah.
What?
George.
Perhaps a flint?
No.
no.
No. It was, no, it was Daniel.
Daniel.
It was Daniel.
And they had a farm together, or there was another
No,
farm?
they were just two that had become pretty prominent since then. Like, they were different. They weren't working together. They were working on their own things. But those are really the only ones. They were in here a lot doing research on the town, on how to grow these trees and like cooking stuff. They were in here a lot. And so we've talked a lot, and I kind of helped them with some of their research, but those were really the only ones that I remember actually talking to like a lot. There were a few other ones that would come in every now and then, but those two were the main ones.
And I know it's been a while, I don't know what you remember about your interactions, but did either of them seem particularly interested in, what is her name?
Zenir?
God. Did either of them seem thank you, apologies. I know she's a pretty big figure here. I just am, anyway. Did any of them seem particularly focused on it? Like, I mean, you said Daniel kind of rubbed you the wrong way, but you don't really have a reason why?
No, like he just didn't seem trustworthy to me.
I don't even know what that means, bro.
so-
I don't trust anybody. So, like, one mistrust makes no difference.
And we talked a little bit about like her like trying her own recipes, but we never really went into depth with what she used or anything like that. So I'm not too sure. Nobody like was really digging for information about Zenir. But I also talked to them about a few other people in town that were, doing things as well. But again, I don't know what they were using for the recipes, just that they were actually trying to do the same thing.
Okay. If you had to guess who took the box, who would you have gone after if you hadn't been so worried about your life from Zenir? Just asking.
I would probably say Daniel. Like I said, he just didn't seem very trustworthy. A little,
Yeah, again, that means nothing to me.
And you said he was a newcomer at that time? Like he had just come in and bought a new farm and just was trying to establish himself?
Yes, Daniel was not from here. Tomas was though. But they were the kind of more prominent ones that kind of came out of that time when all the rivalries were coming. There are a few other ones that aren't. They're okay, but they're not as successful as those two.
Do you know if either of them have their farm near is it the final roasting place? No. Laid to roast.
The warehouse.
It's not a crematorium. Can we open a crematorium in this place and call it the final roasting place? Can we?
That was the name of the graveyard.
That was the name of the graveyard.
That's true. Hey, I had them all. Like, look.
Give a nerd a
Nut
pun, I
puns for
swear.
days. Oh crap, what was your question?
I said, do you know if either of those farms was near the laid to roast?
Laid to roast. No, their laid to roast is pretty. It's just outside the center of town, and so most of the farms in the groves are going to be like outside, like right around the outer perimeter of the town.
Okay.
And you don't have any clue if maybe one of them was friends with Charles Flynn?
Oh, they may have worked with Charles. He works with a lot of
He's
of
got the
different
factory.
groups. Yeah.
He does everybody.
So.
Okay. All right. Anything else you can think of is important to find out? Maybe what happened if we can dig this up.
Nothing that I can think of. I mean, I can tell you like where their farms are.
Sure, I'll take that.
Thanks.
If I remember correctly, you're staying at the Rested Knight.
Yes.
Okay.
You have a great memory.
So,
God, George.
the story of you guys helping to save the Rested Knight is legendary.
We tell tales over fire.
And so he says, yes, if you keep going past the Rested Knight and go to the West Gate, just outside the West Gate and to the right is going to start Tomas's Grove. You do have to travel about a mile or so till you get to his home and the barn and everything. And then Daniel's is actually on the other side of town. It's kind of southeast, so you have to go out either the South Gate or the East Gate, but go southeast, and his is going to be just over there.
And Tomas is the one with the bigger, more success than Daniel?
They're about the same.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You ready?
Freddie.
Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna kind of trail behind them. Are we leaving? Is that what we're doing? Okay.
You should go say goodbye.
I was going to, but you guys were teasing me.
Nothing can stop a 12-year-old George.
Oh, I would love to. Sorrel, it was really nice to see you. And enjoy that Fideo.
And he's not quite as, like dark as he was, but he's still a bit somber after that whole conversation. He's like, thank you, George. I'm sure I will. I enjoyed the tamales very much.
Talk to you
I
later.
make
bud.
them with love.
She does. I saw her.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Mama V.
I got nothing.
Alrighty.
So we guys didn't follow outside. I'll be like, guys, hold on 1 second, and I go back inside.
Okay.
Okay, just feelings aside, understanding that we can only act on the information we have at the time. Understand why I'm asking you this, okay?
Oh, Lord. Okay.
No, I know it's still kind of a raw spot for you, so I just want you to understand that we are just looking into things, that's it. Do you have anything that shows that it was not you?
Not really,
Nothing? Okay. Well, we're gonna try to prove that it wasn't, so wish us luck.
Well, thank you. Yes.
No,
Good luck.
I was gonna say, alright.
And good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go back outside to meet with y'all.
So do we want to see the sketchy guy first, or like Tomas? Isn't Daniel the one that Mr. Sorrell is suspicious of?
Yeah, but my mind's eye, because I don't trust anybody, the smooth talker is the one I would watch out for first.
Mr. Tomas?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Daniel, he may be shady, but I'm always looking at the one that looks a little too right.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright, so the west gate we go.
Is that where we're going first?
Yeah,
Y'all
to
okay with that?
Tomas's farm.
Westgate, yes.
Yes.
All right.
Do we have to flash anything to leave?
No.
Like a, oh, okay.
Like a what?
Like an ID or something? I'm thinking of that game we played. What was that game we played? Where we had to like cross the, what was that game? We had
Which
to,
one?
Where we-
Sheriff Nottingham?
The Sheriff Nottingham. Yeah, I'm thinking of that. Sorry, crossover. Sorry guys, you had to be there. Okay. All right.
Anyway, sorry.
Oh, and
My pocket zipper.
I was like, what?
Anyway, by the way, guys, I asked him straight out if there was anything he could show to prove that it wasn't him, and he has nothing. So he's not going to be any help other than giving us the names of other people who might have done it.
I believe in him, Moon.
You believe in everybody, George.
I do. That's what Deer told me. Praise be.
Yeah. So we're going to head west then, guys?
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah.
And then to the right for a mile.
Yeah, George, just go first. Wait, are you a squishy? What's your...
I'm okay. George is fine. I don't think she'll die yet. Yeah. Wow.
Lovely.
All right. Well, George will happily lead the way to I'm guessing this forest with the
She's
beautiful
probably
trees.
skip
skipping.
it.
Wow, y'all.
It's a great day.
She's skipping.
Hi.
And for those of you, if you haven't watched before, George is 12, so that's why they're messing with her.
She's the youth of the group.
Yes. All right. So, yeah, you guys make your way to the west gate, and without any issue. And you head out, and because you came in and it was night when you guys came in. You were tired. So going out of the gate, there is like an open area around the wall outside, but then you see like these groves of trees on both sides, and around these groves are these little like little fences. They're made of wood, but they're really low. It's just mainly to separate the different groves, the different owners of the groves.
Okay.
So based off of what Sorrell told you, this on the right side is going to start Tomas's grove, and so you guys continue on about a mile, and you notice that the fence and the grove kind of cuts off a bit, and you see kind of further back you see a barn and some like different like tools and supplies and stuff used to gather these nuts from the trees and whatever else they do. And then a little further up the road you see like a house, a small house, not nothing too grand. And you see people kind of working in the barn, and you see a few people kind of going in and out of the house doing different chores and whatnot. All right, what do you do?
We go straight in and ask for him. I
mean,
mean, it's
you
been
might
60 years.
Want to take
Still
some
alive?
action before George skips her way to the door.
Oh, no, I'm not
Take
gonna
some
skip to the
action.
door. I'm gonna.
George, and she manages to get things done. So if I may not agree with her methods, I may not use those methods for myself, but George, she produces things. I skip away. As long as she's not skipping to me, we're good.
Thanks,
Wow.
Moon. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so George is gonna just approach. He said there's people coming in and out, right? Just the least intimidating-looking one, perhaps the youngest person. Like George approaches them. Hello, merry day.
So you come
It
upon
works for her to just,
a young boy, probably about your age.
Ooh, nice.
Oh,
I love George. You are hot.
too young for that.
Not in Dira's plan.
And you get a little closer and you see
Not that close.
How close?
Oh my God, she's 12.
you see the slight point to his ears. So he might be about 12. He could be a little older, depending.
Oh,
But,
great ears.
but he looks pretty young, and he's got like this dark kind of curly tuft on his hair, on his head. And he's carrying like some buckets at the moment.
What else would they be carrying in this?
Actually, he's carrying buckets of water at this point.
Oh.
Oh, okay, so George is gonna walk up to her friend. Hello, may I help you with your buckets of water? I work here.
Laura's like, she's walking that way, and then she turns like, okay, she's got a hustle or something.
Oh, sorry. Rather, I hope to work here. I really love
And
that.
I take my tail and I turn Moonlight forward.
I was like, is she
Not going anywhere.
He goes, hi, yeah, do you want to talk to my father? He would be the one to hire. I don't know if he's looking for anybody, though.
Is your father Mr. Tomas?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I heard great things about your father. Heard he knows his nuts.
Oh God.
And knows other people's nuts too. Okay.
I guess you could say that.
Right. What's your name, sir? I mean, my friend.
He goes, my name is Elian.
Elian. Let me write that down in my friend book real quick. Elian.
She has a friend book, y'all.
I remember everyone.
This is why we don't hang out.
Son.
And
So.
yet you go everywhere with her.
No, I go everywhere with you, and she happens to be there.
I'm always there. My name is George III. Those are my companions hiding over there. They're nervous, but can you lead me to your father?
She's just gonna die in this
George, he's in the house.
Am I allowed in?
Hold on, and he says, "Come on," and he puts the buckets of water like on the porch. And he's hold on just a second.
Thanks, Elian.
I was gonna do some investigation around the property, but since you put us all in the same bucket,
No!
I'm gonna go ahead and follow y'all because now I'm seen and I'm
Yeah, I can't sneak
I'm
now.
kind of-
Go ahead and sneak. I was just waving at nothing. Yeah. That's fine.
So he has you waiting outside on the porch. He's like, "I'll be right back."
See you soon.
God.
Damn it, George. No, it's damn it, Darcy. Damn it, George will not become a thing.
Oh no.
I do not consent.
Today is George. Today is George. So I'm I'm gonna maybe not as in depth as I would have before because we've been pointed as a collective. George. I'm gonna kind of like wander a bit, just nonchalantly look around. I'm looking for anything that looks shady 60 years later.
Wow. I think it's all going to be on the up and up at this point. It's being well covered.
Well, they might still be stealing stuff, from other people. Who knows? Looking through the barn, walking, not too far though, because I want to be able to see when they go in the house. So.
Make an investigation check.
First roll.
Come and go.
Oh, that's horrible. With my +4, it's a 5.
Oh, so you got one.
Oh Lord.
I need that critical roll dice.
Okay.
First game back, and what did you roll?
So
Where's Unika?
What do you mean? To roll even worse than you?
You can't. At this point, you literally can't roll worse than me.
all right. So as they're waiting on the porch, you're walking through, but
Oh, it's a barn.
I just nonchalantly.
Yeah, just kind of
Strolling.
nonchalantly. Some of the guys like working, they just kind of look at you curiously. But you don't. There's nothing.
Of course not. Like, why? I need
You
glasses.
see?
I need LASIK. I need something. Oh my god.
Alrighty,
What are
so
you looking at?
Fired.
Moon?
about 5, and it is. I mean, it doesn't take too long because, like I said, it's a small house. But about 4 minutes or so pass, and you hear footsteps coming towards the door. And you see basically a taller, older version of Elian. Another like half elf with that curly tuft of like black on top. And he goes, "Oh, hello. I hear you're looking for work."
Yes, Sister Tomas. I'm really interested in nuts. And your nuts specifically. May I come in?
I'm 12 years old. It's so right.
We actually aren't currently hiring at the moment. We're all full.
Is this a family biz?
No, not necessarily. I do hire on people, but at the moment we do have we're at full capacity.
Aww. Well, I met your son Elian. He's lovely. Great years on that kid. What?
Oh my god.
I mean, George is a half elf too, so
Yeah, like, we can talk about each other's
I'm gonna just make sure I keep distance between her and that boy.
No one talks to Tomas.
Unless he's gonna convert, I don't think he stands a chance.
That's true. He's a convert for me.
Wow.
Well, Mr. Tomas, can I ask you a question? You know how I heard about this place? From my good friend Sorrel. Have you been to the Nutty Scholar in town?
Not for a while.
Oh, wow. He said great things about you. He says you're a smart man, you love to research, and you know a lot about nuts. I can't emphasize that enough. So what's going on? I don't know what to ask him.
But you're taking the right tact, I think.
Yes.
So that's why I'm leaving you alone.
Got a name drop.
My family grew up here, and that's like the business in this town. So I was, became interested in it a long while back, and I have to say I'm doing pretty good for myself.
Did your father own this farm before you, or perhaps your mother?
No, they did not. They worked in town. They worked. One of them worked at one of the general stores. And then that was my father. My mother worked at the factory actually.
Oh, they sound lovely. They raised a smart man, a business owner. I respect that. I was wondering. There's a great smell at this farm. It smells great. It's like, do you guys have a secret recipe? Dare I ask?
Most of the groves will have their own recipes for their nuts, of course. Yeah.
Oh, can you give me a sneak peek? Come on.
Okay, I'm gonna send George. One of my cantrips is to send a message.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna send George. I'm still outside of the house, I think, because I don't think we all went in.
No, you're actually still on the porch.
Yeah, you did not invite me.
Okay, so yeah. So I'm gonna send George a message, telling her to ask him, when he felt how he got started, when he found what, somewhere leaning him to the time of 60 years ago. I like the line of question, George. I like the line of questioning, but you need to figure out how to ask him what he was doing 60 years ago, when the growth started, whenever, like that.
Okay. Hey, Tomas, you look really young. I know us half-elves, we age pretty slowly. How old are you, may I ask?
I'm about 90.
Wow. So you've been...
That's actually the right response for a 12-year-old.
Nice. That's a big number. I'm only 12 myself. Anyway, so what'd you get into this business? How old were you? May I ask? I'm sorry if I'm intruding. I just love nuts.
Why did I do this to myself? looks at his son and he's just kind of like, what is going on here?
Random 12-year-old.
But he doesn't seem... He doesn't realize that you're like trying to get like specific information. He's just kind of like,
That's
oh,
why I
okay, I guess
See,
I'll
this
just...
is why we let her do what she does.
See, there's a reason.
I just answered this 12-year-old's question. Sure, kind of like thing. But he's like, yeah. I worked for a little bit at the factory with my mom when I was growing up, and kind of gotten into like how everything happened, like how all the different things that were made with nuts, and I felt like there were some things missing, like some different flavors that were missing, and that I could possibly come up with, different ideas for those.
Fascinating. You should write a book about this. I'd read it. So, like, what factory did you work in? I know there's a lot of factories in town. How do you choose where to work?
I just went to the one, I just chose the one that Mom worked at because she was already there.
You know, the only factory I've heard of in town that really sticks out to me is called Late to Roast. That one I heard is the hoppin'.
Pop popping.
Hot poppin'. Everyone's nutting, you know.
Oh my God!
This is your world, Kandi.
What is it? Not safe for work.
Now I don't even want to say, like...
And while we're waiting for that answer, I'm gonna send George another message. Ask him if he's ever heard of the lady. Damn it, her house. Yes. Ask, because I can't hear you. So ask him if he talk about how awesome her spices were, and ask if he knows her.
How would it anyway? But Moon, that's too suspicious.
No, just like, oh, I tried this really awesome recipe and I heard it was from whatever her name is.
Remember when you mentioned Zenir to Sorrel? He was triggered. I don't want to make Mr. Tomas uncomfortable.
Fine, you're doing good. So
Dear
I'm
is
gonna let it
leading me.
slide.
Let her lead you too.
Wow.
And at that point, I roll my eyes and I walk away a little bit. I'm like,
No, we'll get there. I got you. Alright, so what factory did you work at? Where does a little girl like me start?
Nuts.
never. That's when you start.
Actually, Laid to Roast was the one that I came up in.
No way.
I
What are
did
the
work.
chances?
I did work for a little bit at one of the other ones. It was named Toland's.
Toland.
So that's not related.
It is not.
Wow.
Yeah.
I told you there were.
This is the one thing that's not related.
things.
You know, I
There
heard,
are more than that.
Tomas, I heard something quite peculiar about Late to Roast, about the owner, Charles Marsh. Or Flint. Oh, my mistake. Marsh told me about Charles Flint. And that he disappeared? Can you believe that happening in a nice town like this?
Yeah, that's sort of like the big mystery of the town.
Did that happen while you were working there? You and your mother?
No, that was after.
Interesting.
After I left.
Hey, would you like to meet my friends?
Meet
Uh,
Mama Fig.
sure.
This is my mom, Mama V. And she made Fideo for you. I'm assuming you're still holding some.
Are you?
I don't
I
even want to
always
be
carry
in his
good
life.
recipes with me.
What are we gonna have to eat now? She's giving all of our food away.
Ren will make us dinner.
Children, it's fine. Yes,
I
I'm
don't
quite a
even wanna
cook.
be
I'm very
in
good
this
with
setting.
recipes, although they don't usually involve nuts.
She knows what she's good at.
Sure. What is it?
So fideo is this really nice sopa. The fideos are like little noodles. They kind of look like worms, but they're not. They're very tasty. Wow. And then you put a little potatoes and a little bit of beans and some ground meat, and it's very, very hearty, and it just warms the soul. And It's one of my best recipes. I make it with lots of love.
You hear Elian, he's because he's still next to his father, and he like pulls on his father's like sleeve. He's like, I want the worm soup. And Tomas just starts laughing, and he's like, here.
Yes, food is my love language. And so, like, as somebody who's really awesome at doing so well with nuts, like coming to this town and finding new recipes and how to work with nuts, what was your inspiration as far as those flavors go that made you so famous?
Me and my family would travel a bit when I was younger, and I would always hear stories of these like different spices and herbs that people would use for different things. Not even necessarily even for eating, but just for different things. So at first I thought I wanted to be like an herbalist. But I decided that, you know, being in Chesterfield, that I would go that route, but, you know, use these different herbs and things that I had heard of when we were traveling.
As he's talking about traveling with his family that used to work at a factory, do I believe him?
Make an insight check.
I don't even remember what my insight is. I went to sleep. That's what I get.
Oh.
Ooh, nice.
That's why you have that dice.
22.
22.
Oh, nice.
Here,
that dice is already in timeout.
Oh God, whispers.
See if I can whisper low.
Hey, you know what?
Wait a minute. What? It's nothing.
You can't tell.
I have a 22 insight.
Georgia. I heard a so.
Okay, yeah. Fine. We will not do whispers because I can't. No whispers. Okay. So,
At least I'm not the only one that can't whisper.
So you get the feeling that he is mostly telling the truth. There's something where he seems like a little bit nervous. So you're not sure like what he added or what he's not telling you. But
Something's a little off.
But something's a bit off, yeah. But it's not like most of it sounds like it's probably the truth. So it's really hard to pinpoint what exactly is going on.
Okay, so then I ask him things like, well, you know, I've been to some pretty amazing places before. Like, so what were the flavors that you brought in? Were there things like cinnamon, or did you try and use things like different kinds of nuts to mix in with the chestnuts that were just slightly different? Or, I don't know. Sometimes I've even heard of people using spices to go to other planes.
Ooh, Mama B.
He goes, well, now you're getting into the secret of the recipes. So I really can't tell you what we use. That's what made us so successful right now is keeping these things a secret. So
I see.
I'm gonna whisper to George or send a message to George and to Mama V. Okay, so, well, I don't know what her insight was necessarily. Okay, what do you guys? Okay, I'm gonna send you a yeah. What do you believe him? Do we believe him?
And so I glance over her and I just use the mind trick instead, and I said, something's a little off.
Okay. So what do we do? What's our next move?
Don't know what else to add.
Tomas, you keep talking about your mom. Is she your hero?
Oh,
Is she your number one? My number one is Dira, Lord of Light. Is your mom your number one?
Yeah.
May I ask her name?
Her name is Celine.
Oh.
is that with an
Pretty name.
SIC?
Yeah.
It's S.
She sounds lovely.
Does she have cat-like features with wings?
Oh my gosh. Sweet one. So
That's from the other cat.
Oh, really? So Tomas, you're in this business. You know a lot of people, right? Do you happen to know someone named Daniel?
Oh, of course I know Daniel.
Oh, is he a legend, just like you?
Nah, he's okay.
Oh, he's your rival.
You could say that.
Wow. So, do you know anything about his nuts? I won't tell.
He goes, no, I can't say that I do. And, he just kind of like starts looking around. He's like, I really kind of need to get back to work.
Oh, just one quick question. You know that I met a friend. Her name is Miss Samir, and she wanted to get back into the nut biz. What do you think of that? Is it easy to get back in the biz?
At this point, he starts to close down a bit.
Oh, really? Oh, damn
Good call not asking the questions.
it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna send him a message, guys. I think we should walk.
Nice to
I
meet
don't
you.
think we're gonna get anything.
It was very interesting. Good day.
Good day.
Just remember, it's not actually worms. It's very tasty. You should try it.
Yeah. Bye, Elion.
Bye.
Bye. See you later. Well, that sucked.
No, I think it did what we needed it to do.
You got enough.
Well, for now. I
You
just
got a reaction
because
out of him from that name.
one, if something is up, like my movie says, then I wouldn't. Did he clearly see me as part of the group? Like, did he see?
He really didn't notice you because you weren't on the porch.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping
That's
for.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because what I was thinking, I could go back and pretend to be someone, but I wanted to talk to y'all about what he would need to see. Like, who would he believe?
I have a disguise. I have a hat of disguise. I got it from
Well,
the
I mean,
people.
I
You have
have
another
this. No, I have one of my things is
Disguise self.
being able to forge papers and make myself into a person. Maybe not a full disguise like that, but if he didn't notice me. But I don't know. Should we go see Daniel first before we, and then we can figure out,
Yeah.
because he just may not be a people person. We don't need to be judging him.
They seem fine,
He's
so they
pretty-
thought I was trying to steal his recipe.
I know. Yeah, you just got
I just
sketched out.
find it a little difficult to believe that somebody who has been working in factories their whole life, coming from meager means, can travel the world.
Yeah, yeah.
Something's a little.
Without specifics, like he didn't give anywhere he'd actually been. All right. How far away is Daniel? Do we need to stop for lunch?
Oh yeah.
Do we even have any food left over?
Yeah, so
We could go back to the inn. We have to pass the inn to get
To the
town
south gate.
anyway.
Yeah, the southeast and the east gate.
We'll stop there for a minute. Yeah.
Free charge.
all right, so you guys make your way back to town, and through the west gate, and to the rested knight. Stepping inside, you see Rin is actually running around helping people. There's about 5 people here. There's 2 of them that are together, and the other 3 are kind of single. They're spread around. A couple of people are eating. A couple people are just chilling.
Do you think we should ask? What is the inn owner's name?
Ren, she said.
Bother me not with details. Names are so unimportant. Sort of. Probably not. This is why I have y'all. Should we ask him about Tomas?
Sure. He's famous,
See,
apparently.
I mean, well, he's an innkeeper. He kind of sees people come and go. Maybe he'll know something. But I don't want to catch him when he's super busy. So I guess I'm going to wait for him to come to a stopping point.
Okay.
And then ask him.
Alright. It takes a few minutes, close to 10, where he's finished kind of serving up people. Everybody has either their food or their drinks, and he makes his way back to the counter.
Okay, first question I guess is, do you have any fideo left?
I made a big pot.
But he was selling it too, so
Uh-huh.
I don't
I
know.
only gave out 3 bowls. I really gotta have a little cache of how many screws I can give out this many.
Alright, then I'm gonna ask Ren.
Mhm.
Ren,
yeah.
hey, bro, how's it going? So we just came from Tomas. He has a grove of trees.
Oh,
up
yeah.
there.
Yeah, I know Tomas.
What do you think about him? Is he? I mean, because we looked for maybe some nuts that he might have to offer, but he talked to us a little bit. But what do you think about him? Should we go back? Like just to see if something opens up later?
I mean, sure, you can go back. He's my friend. We,
Okay.
we hang out sometimes, and
He has a lot of kids, huh?
yeah. Huh?
He has a lot of kids.
Only 2.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wait,
so
wait a
we
minute,
only met the
Leon.
one.
Oh yeah, Leon's nice.
She's lovely. Great ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, I'm gonna send a message and say if they're friends, I don't want to ask him any more direct questions because he might make it back to Tomas.
Oh, that's true. That's smart.
I'm telling
That's
you.
nice.
Oh, trust nobody.
In that case, shall we head to Daniel's?
Well, did we eat? Can we eat?
Yeah.
I ate it, it's good.
Yeah, you ask Rin to bring you some more fideo, and he does. So
Awesome.
you guys are.
Yum yum.
Yeah.
Sip sip.
Alright. Alright, and so after you finish your lunch, you head to the other side of town. So you end up going through like the market area. Do you guys want to go south or east?
I said the east.
Well, we could go out the south. We need to go southeast, so we go throughout the east gate.
The east gate?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright,
We could split. No, let's go. I'm gonna lag behind like I did before though.
okay.
Just so it's not clear that I'm with them. So George can do her thing that's been weirdly working. He can
Thanks.
talk to her.
So you, it takes a while to get this way because you gotta go through the marketplace and then the other side of town. But you guys leave through the east gate and again notice this kind of large field area right outside the walls, and then there starts a grove. So going down the road, you notice, you get about a mile and you see that this, you see another kind of house. It's a little bit bigger actually than Tomas's, although the barn's a bit smaller, so it's kind of interesting. But you see this one, and because this is east, you end up kind of going around. There's another road just past this grove that ends up going south. And so you take, and it's like a little, it's not even really a road, a little bit more than a footpath, but something that you can get through. That's kind of made maybe for carts and stuff to get through, like one at a time sort of thing. So you guys head south on this road, and you come to a grove. The one that you passed first, the fence around was very similar to Tomas's, kind of a short wooden fence. That one kind of ends, and then there's some space, about 60, 70 feet, and then you see another grove. The fence around this one is much taller. It is one of, it's not like a farm fence where it's very open. This one is like planks. This grove is very closed off. And so continuing down the road, you end up at this large, elaborate metal gate that has a big DS on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna We'll let George go first, because again, she's little and people say cute.
So is anyone walking around?
You see some people kind of out working the grove. And you see actually next to this sort of elaborate large gate, there's like a walking gate. And that one actually seems to be open. The other one, the large one, is closed.
Okay, well, I'm gonna just walk in like I own the place.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk in.
All right.
Wait, do any of us want to like sneak in on the sides or something?
Yeah, I can
I am not the
distract
sneaky
him.
person.
Yeah, sneaking is you.
Go ahead and sneak.
You're
Like I have to keep my eye on you, Miss. Oh, I love his ears.
Okay, he has great ears.
Yeah, I think somebody needs to be in with her, but it could be Mama B, like, but I'm not a sneaker.
I'm not.
I mean,
Her and Mama V are the talkers.
No, so,
I don't know.
the fence is around the house only?
Around
Not
the-
around
no,
the
just around
whole
the grove,
Okay,
yes.
so
So
walking
it's
the
completely
perimeter is
closed off.
not a thing.
So it's covering the trees.
Well, it's not that high. It's not as high as the trees. You can still see the trees above
But it's
it. But where
definitely
the
meant
other
to keep
gate was
people
maybe
out.
like 3.5 feet tall,
Yeah.
these are about 5 to 6 feet tall.
He doesn't want anybody really seeing.
No, he's just keeping people out, keeping people in, whichever. It works both ways.
Oh, I guess I will attempt to stealth them.
Okay.
So
been a
where you
while.
gonna go?
It's been a while.
Where you gonna go? Like, you can't hop up. I guess you
I'm
can.
not
You're a
gonna-
cat, can't you? You can
Yeah.
jump high.
I'm like 6
Well, there is a walking gate.
There is a walking gate.
So the walking gate is
But
open.
if you're gonna
Oh,
sneak
let's
through
just
a
walk
walking
in.
gate,
Like, I'm
okay,
saying.
fine. Let's just walk in.
I thought you were
Why are you
sneaking through the
sneaking?
grove. That's what I thought you were doing.
I mean, I could,
pick a lane. That's all I'm saying.
but then I'll miss all the juicy
Pick-
talk.
We will tell you about it later.
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
Pick a lane.
Okay, fine.
Wait, make a stealth check.
Oh, God damn it. 21.
21, okay. Yeah, you're able to now, like, this is a grove of trees, so they're spaced out and whatnot, and there are people working, but you are able to sort of wait till their back is turned and then hop behind another tree and then, just kind of make your way towards, wherever, because you're not really even sure where you're going at this point.
And it's
But you're basically staying parallel to the road, but like maybe like 30 feet away, and then just going, like, following the group.
What are the workers wearing? The workers that are working the grove, what are they wearing? I can see that from my side of the gate, right? From outside the gate.
Did you guys not go in?
Well, she went in, but I'm
Right.
still.
She was out, okay.
Yeah, but I can see through, right?
Yeah, you can see through the walking gate. Most of them tend to be in like tunics with, like some sort of leather or cloth pants.
Okay.
They are wearing like some sort of gloves or something as they are picking the nuts and all that.
I'm gonna dig in my bag and see if I have anything that looks anything similar to that. Which I don't
think you
I
do. You've got a couple.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
damn it.
some
How did
hooks.
stop things?
Huh?
Yeah,
Why are
but
we trying to act like we work here? We'll just go in and be like, hey.
Can I work here?
because I'm wearing all black and it's like daytime and I don't look at all like I work here.
But why are we trying to look like we work here?
No, I just the same way with Tomas. I don't want to immediately mess her up because she's acting all cute and subtle and shit. I don't want to mess that up, so I don't want it to be clear that I'm with her. So maybe I could just wait a little bit and enter
Okay.
the
take back a
distance.
bit.
Yeah. All right.
All
Cool.
right.
All right.
That's fine.
So we've got this one
Keep
in
it
the
simple.
grove. So we got a road with the walking gate. You guys go into the walking gate, you two, and on the road we've got Maz that's about 30 feet off from you guys, kind of sneaking through the grove, and you are currently waiting outside for a few minutes.
Yeah,
To hang.
let
Okay.
them go in first.
Gotcha. All right, so you guys walk quite a ways until you see a 2-story house. You also see a 2-story barn, Not too far behind it, but pretty close to the house. And you continue walking along, and there are some people kind of, like I said, working or whatever. And again, they look at you kind of curiously. They've never seen you before, and you make it to about 50 feet from the house when a gentleman comes along, and he didn't come from the Grove. He came from somewhere else. And he's like, may I help you?
Hi there. Hi, sir. Good morning.
Hello.
I just heard your farm just
George.
free samples, and me and my mom were just trying to find some samples of your nuts. It just smells so good. We smelled you from town.
He goes, we're usually not in the business of giving free samples.
Oh, I thought FS,
we-
free samples? Wasn't that on the gate?
No, that was DS.
Oh my gosh, my mistake. I'm 12. I'm dumb. Like, I can't read. I'm sorry. What does DS stand for anyway, if not for free samples?
That's the only logical conclusion. God, kids get away with everything. Jeez.
He goes, the DS stands for Daniel Sloan.
Oh, are you Mr. Daniel?
I am not.
Oh, do you know him?
Yes, he's the owner of this grove.
I'm just so curious about entering the nut business. I really want to learn about it because it seems like he has a really nice business here. Everyone has a tunic on. There's nice fences. He has a beautiful home. So, can I talk to him?
And who, may I ask, is calling upon Mr. Daniel?
My name is George. This
George?
is my mom. She's got Fideo.
Hopefully you re-upped at the end.
Apparently, I just filmed the campaign.
Yeah.
I will be right back. Just wait here, please.
Oh wait! Before you go, what's your name, good sir?
He goes, my name is Tim.
Oh, nice to meet you, Tim. I'm George.
Nice to meet you, George.
I'll talk to you in a bit, Tim.
Okay. And he saunters off to the house.
Am I close enough to have seen them?
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, because watching how fast somebody came out before they got to the house, is there anything around that would show what kind of belief system they have, if any? Like, is there any religious paraphernalia, like symbols anywhere that I can see?
Not in the Grove or on the... No.
So I can't see the house yet?
You can see the house, but... Because it's pretty big, so you can see it further back. But there doesn't seem to be anything on the outside of the house that shows...
Okay, then I'm going to go generic, and I'm going to just close my robe up so you can't see the blades and whatnot. And I'm going to, whatever symbol I've seen in town, I'm going to have that, and I'm going to walk on the path very purposely toward the house.
Okay.
Not speeding up to catch up with them, but just...
looking like another visitor.
Another visitor,
Okay.
maybe with religious intentions.
Okay. All right. So you end up waiting about a good 20 minutes.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And you see Tim exit the house, and he's making his way towards you, and he's like, Mr. Daniel is not sure who you are. He hasn't heard of you before.
I'm a fan.
We're the same people that we helped save the Rested Night Inn, and we're just learning about this town that we're now so invested in.
He says that he will see you for a moment. But yeah, he come with me.
Oh, thank you, Tim.
And so you follow Tim into the house, and you see sort of it's pretty nice on the inside. You didn't get to go into like Tomas's house, but this is pretty nice actually. And there's sort of like an office leading into, there's like a little foyer. And then just out on the right of that is like is an office, and you see a sort of old, kind of grizzled guy in there, and you see a younger guy in there as well. There's two guys, and they're talking to each other. And when they hear you enter, they stop talking. And the younger guy comes, and he's like, I hear you're here to see my father.
Oh yes, hi. Are you Daniel Jr. perhaps?
I am.
Oh,
Yes.
nice to meet you. I'm George. This is my mom.
Hello.
Hello. What is your business here?
Well, I can't read, so I thought your sign said free sample, so I waltzed in. I didn't realize I was in the famous Daniel Sloan's farm. Like, I heard such great things about y'all, because we are like local celebrities. I'm gonna run with that. Yeah.
All right. Hold on.
Okay.
It's kind of scary how well you play a 12-year-old.
All right. He says, okay. And he's just kind of like shaking his head. He's not sure what the hell's going on, just like Tim. And he ushers you into this room. And like I said, there's like sort of this old kind of grizzled dude. He's got like a pretty, nice, long, like white beard, scraggly. He's kind of, balding a little bit on top. He's human. And he's pretty old. Yeah. And so he goes, so, what may I assist you with?
Hello, Mr. Daniel. I'm just trying to. My mom and I just moved here, and we just want to learn about the town. And I heard such great things about your farm from a lot of people. Actually, I was just at a farm, Tabaxi's farm. Have you been there?
I have not been to his farm. No. But you're wanting to know about the nut business?
Actually, I want to know about you. I want to know about the people of this town.
It works. Just
I want to write a book about this town, maybe.
Just let it happen.
So let me say, Mr. Sloan, your farm might be
Make
nice.
a deception check.
No, I really want to know about him. One sec, let's see. Okay.
I probably should have had you make one earlier, but
Yeah. There you go. Odd.
No, wait, that's the wrong dice. That's a D12.
Oh shit. There you go. Just on you. Oh shit. It's even lower. I was a 4.
it's a 4.
That's bad.
Here, we'll roll his perception. Let's see. Okay, so he goes, I find it interesting that you are visiting these farms. What are you trying to ascertain about the nut business?
Well, I mean, we're in Chesterfield. Like when in Rome, or whatever that means. When I want to know what the bread and butter of this town is. It not nuts?
It absolutely is.
So yeah, I'm trying to find the heart. It's the heart of the town. That town's nuts, rather. But so.
Okay. It definitely is. Are you trying to start your own business?
Maybe. I'm still trying to find myself,
My girl is very interested in all the things that, really make a successful person. And for whatever reason, I guess because we're in Chesterfield, she's really latched on to these nuts and wants to know all about them. Like, I myself am quite a fan of different recipes. Like, I don't typically work with nuts, but I do make, really awesome things. Like, Fideo, would you like to try some? It's kind of like a soup from my place, from my home.
No, thank you. I'm good.
Daniel Jr., would you like some?
He's just kind of standing off to the side. He's still kind of like, anytime you talk to him, he's just shaking his head like, why are you talking to them, Dad? Type thing.
I know we're cousins.
Yeah. He's, no, thank you. Well, I can't really divulge my recipes to you, if that's what you're looking for, but I can tell you it is a hard business to break into. I came here to do that. I worked hard and somehow was able to make a success of my business. But if that is what you're looking to do, then it would be a tough road.
Yes, I think between you and the final roasting place, nope, the other one, laid to roast, you guys really have some very interesting things that you guys do with the nuts. You said you came to here, so you're not normally from here in Chesterfield? Where did you come from?
No. I am from a town called Aberdeen.
Aberdeen. That's really nice. I think we passed through there at some point or another.
I think we did, Mom. Sounds familiar.
So did you bring flavors from that hometown?
Aberdeen is not really known for being wild with their flavors.
Oh. But
That's-
sometimes simple is the best, no?
He just kind of like makes a sound. He doesn't. You don't know whether he like agrees or disagrees with you.
So when did you start your town? Like, when did you come here? At
Oh, about 65 years ago.
65 years ago.
Yes, it's been a while.
That's really awesome. Such hard work, such a hardworking man. That's really inspiring.
I'm inspired.
This is why they're in there.
So Daniel Jr., so are you going to take over the business? Are you learning about nuts from your father? I don't have a dad.
Wow.
I'm gonna have you make a charisma check on this one.
Okay.
Just straight charisma.
That's why I don't like me. I don't want to meet with any guy. Oh God, it's a 1. Oh shit.
You get the feeling that Daniel does not like kids.
Oh, he doesn't. I thought he was young.
And he goes, I have already taken over the business.
Oh, so you're in charge of this. So you have the family secret recipe and all that kind of thing. Do you guys like work with particular factories? Because I know sometimes the factories like will give out samples for the different flavors and things like that, and the shops that they go in.
We work strictly with Tolan's, so you may find some of our product coming from Tolan's and going to some of the different stores in town.
Oh, so different stores in Toland. So you never worked with the with Marsh and his family?
No, we did not.
Oh, okay. Well, that's really awesome.
Okay, so I'm still outside, kind of walking between the grove of trees, and I'm gonna send a message in through the house, like, "How's it going, guys? Is it working? How's it going?" And y'all can send a message back. It works both ways.
My answer is no. No.
Excuse me?
Oh, I meant, oh.
Yes, you're not supposed to say
Oh,
that.
shit. So Tolan's. Do you know they have tours there? Tolan tours? Do they have tours?
You know what? I'm not quite sure.
Mom, we should go there. We should check it out.
We could. That's definitely more about nuts than we didn't know before.
I know, we learned a lot. I learned so much about nuts.
And I sent another message. Does he know Zamir, whatever her name is?
Do we dare bring her up?
At this point, if it's not working.
Can I see her through these groves?
I'm not
around?
sneaking.
Yeah, she's
I'm
not
just,
sneaking.
No, I know she's
Yeah.
not sneaking, but
Yeah, you
moving
can see
around.
I'm
Yeah.
praying to the trees. Communing with nature, etc., and so forth.
I'm gonna bring up Zamir.
Mm.
I want to trigger him. We triggered 2 people today.
I think that's probably the point, is whether it triggers or it doesn't.
Okay, let me think. Oh, you know, Daniels. I made a new friend today, and she was telling me about nuts too. Her name is Zamir. Have you met her? She said she used to be in the business about 60 years ago. I don't know. I'm so young. I don't know that number.
So long ago.
Yeah.
Young Daniel looks. He's just like he doesn't know her type thing. Like he's just kind of like.
Who's that old lady?
No,
Yeah.
yeah. But older Daniel, he goes, I know of her.
Mm-hmm. Have you tried her nuts?
I didn't know that she was making any or selling any.
I think she did back in the day. Maybe around 60 years ago, right, Mom?
Something like that. She said 60 years ago she tried her hand, but it didn't go very far.
There must have been some good nuts.
I had not heard that she had made anything.
Very good. Okay. Talk to you later. Yeah. Did they take Fidea? Did they accept it? Oh, they didn't.
No,
I'm gonna leave some on the table for them. Whatever. Yeah, I'll leave some on the table for them.
Okay.
It was really nice to meet you, gentlemen. I hope to try your nuts soon.
We'll go find them at Tolan's.
Oh, I mean, we'll go to Tolan's.
But anyway, I'm gonna leave some soup here because I did make it with a lot of love, and it is sort of my calling card when cooking. And so, here you go, guys. I guess if it all fails, you could just feed it to the dog.
Okay. Gosh. Okay.
Jeez. Okay. All right. So you guys leave the house.
I didn't see anything out of the ordinary while I was.
Make a perception check.
Oh God! I'm gonna look back and see if they tried them. Maybe they go.
Good use.
17.
17? Okay. You actually notice that when Moon kind of started walking up the road, you noticed a few people that were working the grove. They were still working the grove, but they kind of started following her as they were working the grove.
Wow. Okay, so since they didn't notice me, was I able to pick up a couple of nuts from these different trees?
Why are you always trying to rob me when you see them following me? Why aren't you trying to cover my...
No, because I was gonna pick up a nut and flick it at you, so hopefully you like turn around and notice.
Yeah, there's a few like on the ground that.
Okay, I'm gonna flick one at her and hopefully she turns around and notices they're following her.
Does she hit me with the nut?
Make. Ooh, let's see. How do I do this?
Oh God! If you peg me in.
What's your EC?
12.
12. Okay, make
Can
an attack
I not-
roll.
What?
That's what I'm having you use. Just make an attack
You
roll.
have to. You're throwing something at me, dude.
You
Roll it, yeah.
and add your dexterity, I will say.
Oh my God! If
Plus-
I lose hit points because of you.
No? What is it? 10?
plus.
10?
No, it's total 10.
Total 10?
Total
Okay. So, Moon, as you are standing, like, kind of, near the trees, pretending to pray, you hear something whiz by your head and hit a tree in front of you, and you see, like, this, like, little nut just kind of, like, fall down in front of you.
Okay, I'm not gonna jerk around or anything. I'm just gonna keep gently wandering until I'm turning to face
Facing
the
the other
way that came from.
Okay.
And then I guess I'll start. I don't know if I want to head that direction because I don't know where it came from. But as I turn around and I start paying more attention to my surroundings, do I see the people that are somehow still in proximity to me, even though I left where they were?
Make a perception.
Why don't you ever do investigation?
I did. Your first roll was investigation, and look how you rolled.
Damn it! Oh my
Another one.
Another one.
Oh my god, we suck. We suck so bad.
My rolls have been great.
Wow, y'all.
Let's be nice.
My rolls have
Oh wait,
been
wait,
fine.
wait. Okay, wait. It's not quite a 1.
Okay.
What was it? Perception.
Oh, it's a 7? Yeah.
It's an 8.
Oh,
You notice several people working the grove and picking nuts, and some are a little closer to your vicinity, but you didn't.
But it wasn't
you
a
don't
1.
know. Yes,
It wasn't a 1
It
though,
wasn't
so
a
we're
1.
calling that a win right now.
It was almost double digits.
Damn it.
Gotta knock that
Okay.
rust off in
Then
the last
I'm
couple
gonna
of
keep
months.
on walking.
Okay.
I've been keeping an eye on the house, and I think I saw them come out.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah, they've come out by this point.
So I'm. How about this? I'll walk up to one of the grove workers that I see that are there for no apparent reason other than their job. And I'll say I'll be channeling my inner George, but with maturity and not 12 years old. I'll be like, bless you. How often do you have visitors to appreciate the sanctity of your grove?
Not very often.
Do you realize the sacred roots and leaves and connection to the earth that are here? Do you feel that?
I just pick nuts here, lady.
Does anyone else, do you not understand the space that you exist in right now? Feel that. Just close your eyes with me. Breathe.
She's communing. She's being one with the trees.
Yes. Feel that. You feel that? Let that energy flow through you.
It's got not MB.
And I'm still sitting behind the other tree, plucking nuts as well. It's
You're weird.
I've heard worse. It's fine. Do you allow visitors to come? I would love to come back and appreciate the energy of this place. Do you think that would be a problem? I didn't have any problem getting in today. I just want to make sure I can come back tomorrow if I need to.
You would need to talk to Mr. Daniel.
Okay, thank you. And I walk away, channeling my inner George.
What do you mean?
Bless you. Bless you and your work, sir. Bless you.
I love this.
Y'all are messing up my story. And so I start to walk back toward the path and kind of slowly follow them out. Just, thank you. All the way out the door.
and I make my way back,
Yes.
and I just walk up to Moon. Bless you.
Wow, y'all.
Hey, but then when he goes back and talks to his friends, to be like, you would not believe the crazy religious lady that was in here.
This hippie chick was messing with me today while I was working.
Hey Moon,
Mm.
you know you were walking around. They were following you. I thought you would have caught the hint of that nut flying by your face, but I guess
Well,
not.
I heard that, and that's what made me kind of turn around and decide maybe I should been loitering too long and I should talk to them. I didn't see you though. That was you.
Yeah.
Mm.
I wasn't trying to hit you. I swear. I swear.
I'm glad you missed. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, you probably would have blasted a hole through the ghost.
I would not. I have self-control. All right. So we leaving since
Yes.
yeah. All right. What happened?
Yes.
Is he better or worse?
He's very closed off. He's not letting very much information out. However, when we mentioned Zanir, we didn't get a reaction out of him, and he says that he only deals with another factory called Tolan's.
That Mr. Tomas used to work out with his mom. So maybe it's all connected, maybe.
He did work at the other one, but he said he was. Didn't he say he was majority at the main factory that we visited? Whatever
Yeah,
the name
Late
of it
Roast.
was.
Later.
Yeah.
Late to roast.
Wait, we never asked Mr. Daniel about Charles Flynn. Should I run back in, Mom?
No.
Okay.
That is not how this works.
I just imagine if he only worked at the other factory, he wouldn't know much about Charles Flint.
But that guy's an old man. He's seen a lot of things. He was a little mean. Who said he was sketchy? Who was that?
Well, I can
Oh, Sorrel.
understand why they said that he was a bit closed off.
Even his son. I don't think he liked kids.
Shame. So you didn't think any particular reason why he would be the person that we're looking for with the box and everything.
Right. He wasn't even at the same factory where we found the box. I mean, unless he was working with somebody else just to get in there and Fort Zanir or something.
Have we talked to the wife yet of Flint?
No, not yet.
I don't think
I
so.
haven't gone there.
Yeah, what time is it? Like in the,
In the universe?
Yeah.
So you guys stop for lunch?
In the KC, the Kandi universe.
It's probably around like 3 o'clock.
Alright, do we want to stop by the market?
Yeah,
No shopping, guys. No shopping. Oh my god, you waste so much time buying things.
But
Whatever, we don't complain when you go to a library.
yeah.
True. We're very patient with
That's
you.
because that's better.
That's because it's what you like.
Better.
I bet if we were shopping for books, we wouldn't hear any complaints.
And yet we're not. So here we are. So we're going back to the market. There we go. To watch back up.
So yes, you guys head back into town, and into the market area.
It says
Where
that.
does she work?
I think
we don't even know.
I wrote down, they live in the district near the marketplace. The wife and 2 kids, Silk Still. I don't know what that means. Is that their store, DM?
The silk shell.
Oh, Silk. Silk Still. I
Near
think
near the silk shell.
So that's where they live. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Where do you see? Oh, here we go.
Oh, you got it too.
Shell. Yeah.
I wrote Still.
All right, note takers.
That's it. So let's
I
go to
only
that
take
place.
about half the note,
I know.
Good one, so.
but I got silk shell.
Okay, so you guys, I think, were you at this one? No, you were at the stall, the clothing stall, not the.
Right.
The
We
shell
were.
store.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was like the very first.
Oh, that was
Yeah, that was like the second episode, I think.
We were like chasing people in the alley, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That was it.
Oh, look, Aberdeen. Aberdeen is a village at the base of a canyon.
Yeah, because I remember, I didn't know if that was at our original campaign, so it's this one.
Yeah, this is
It
one.
is this one. Yeah, if it's in this book, that's this canyon.
All right, so you like ask around. It's easy to find. It's
Sorry.
It's towards the south side of the market, and you see like just kind of on that corner there. There's like a small store. You see the name of it on the front is the Silk Shell.
Mm-hmm. Is it open?
It is open.
I'm gonna walk in.
They've been doing it right today, so I'm gonna hang out.
You're giving us a lot of credit, and I appreciate that.
Hey, like
Sorry.
my method doesn't work all the time. I understand that. This is why I tolerate you, George.
Oh.
Thank
You
you.
only
That's a-
tolerate her.
That's
Aw,
about
we're
as-
getting somewhere.
That's about as love as I get.
All right. So you enter the shop. Hold on. Let me bring this up. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So yeah, you enter the shop and you notice that the clothing in here is like off the wall. It is very fine silks in all sorts of different colors.
Well,
Don't
And-
she wish she were here?
well.
Uh-huh.
It's good that Jory's not here. We'd be in the store all day.
Dang.
You see fine leather accessories and just some of everything here, but everything is definitely very upscale.
Well, I can't not touch some of it. So.
Yeah,
George,
same
touch it.
here.
George, when was the last time you washed your hands?
I always
Same
wash my
here.
hands, Mom.
I-
Get it dirty.
I touched.
Jory's not here. We can't find
I do have Fideo on my hands. Sorry.
Oh my
I
god,
am-
Wilson today, I got him cotton candy. At the end, his hands were all pink with lavas, and it was like, oh
I feel
my
stinky
god.
just thinking about it.
It was like cotton candy and lavas. I was like, don't touch anything! Go wash your hands!
I'm so glad Majora is not here.
Yep, she's asking for robes in chat.
No room
Me-
for
I
you.
use it now.
We don't have robe money. Okay.
Actually.
Shh.
Y'all might now.
Yes.
She don't remember.
She don't remember.
Yes.
Y'all see.
Well, while she's
Okay.
watching George and making sure she's not touching stuff, I'm touching stuff as
I'm walking around. That goes for you too.
Damn
Don't touch it. I don't need your claws snugging any of these fine things. This
I'm
is not
touching them with
that
my
is
tail.
not. We cannot do the whole, you break it, you buy it thing here,
You
okay?
can't break a robe.
You can.
Yes, you can. Jory did. Remember?
Yeah, she's broken several.
Yeah.
But that's the Jory.
Maybe
Okay.
you should see what you have in your party fund and buy this. You should totally have a nicer robe than she is for a little bit. See how she likes it.
She would purposefully tear my robe.
Okay, so you walk into the silk shell and see all of this finery. And at the moment, nobody is out front. You do see like a doorway, and you hear like things going on in the back.
What's our game plan? Because we can't just ask her about her
What
dead
kind of
husband.
things are
Not
going on in the
hard.
back? Or are they just like moving
I
stuff?
think it's a good
Well,
idea to come up with the game
Like,
plan
what
for
kind of
one.
things
yeah, we
do
should
you hear
think
them
about
doing
this.
back there? Like just moving stuff?
Yeah, you hear like scraping. You hear a couple of other like unrecognizable sounds. Not like loud or anything as well.
I don't know. I think it might be a good idea to just ask about her missing husband.
How?
Just
I'm
flat
glad I
out.
didn't hear that.
It's kind of.
Why don't we tell them the truth? That's what we're trying to figure out.
Why don't I find a corner where she can't see me when you guys ask that question?
So long as you don't break anything.
Take the lead, Mama B. I'll get their
no,
attention. Knock, knock.
Oh dear.
Oh, one moment. And you hear like now like the sounds are a little bit like quicker. Like they're trying to like finish up what they're doing like super quick. And out from the back comes a almost 7 foot tall half orc. He is dressed very finely. He's got like a deep blue velvet like tunic on with like some black like trousers.
Joy would shit herself.
The robe's on that
It's
guy.
got a little bit of like
Oh my God.
golden like thread trim on the tunic. He's got like this deep like chestnut brown hair that's kind of tied back into like a ponytail.
Oh, man, but.
That would have been
awesome.
We get it. 100 years of mini
So-
Yeah.
And he has like on his ear, which is slightly pointed, like he's got like a half orc ear, so they're slightly pointed. And there's like a line of earrings down both ears, like all gold earrings.
So you're saying he's hot?
He's rich?
He's
I
rich.
don't know if that's the same thing as hot, but
I guess it depends on who you're talking to.
valid, I guess.
He goes, "Welcome to the Silk Shell."
Hi, sir. I
Hello.
love your outfit.
Oh, thank you.
May I ask you your name?
Yes, I am. Oh, crap, hold on.
I just looked it up and I forgot it.
Oh, but everybody looks at me wrong.
Like so many
do,
names.
right? Do you know how many names I have to know that you don't even know yet?
Oh, look, we know with details.
Oh, he goes, yes. He goes, "My name is Leo."
Leo. It suits you, Leo.
Thank you.
My name is George. This is my mom.
Hi, George and Mom.
Mama Vakri.
Mama Vakri.
Nice establishment you have here.
Oh, thank you.
I've heard a lot of things about this place. It's
Oh, really?
quite upscale. I don't know if I can afford it. Am I allowed to touch stuff?
If you can't afford it, I would not touch it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I appreciate your honesty.
Leo, we are here. We're from the Rested Night. I don't know if you heard about us, but we were the people that helped put the fire out when it was on fire the other day. And we're just learning about the town here and doing some investigation. We actually came across some very interesting information. We were actually looking for Charles Flint's wife. Do you know anything about her?
Oh, yes, she lives not too far from here. A few doors down.
A few doors down?
Yeah.
She used
south
to
of here.
own this shop, didn't she?
No. She works here.
She works
today.
here.
Today is her day off.
Oh, it's her day off. I
Oh.
see, I see. Oh, that's very cool. Okay, so a few doors down, you said?
Yes. If you go down the street south, away from the market, it's about 8 doors down. On this side of the street.
And also, what's her name?
Nesala.
Naysala.
That's pretty. I don't know if I heard that, but it's pretty.
Will you remember it?
Nope.
Well, you know, these things are so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty.
They're lovely.
You know, in my heyday, I was quite the entertainer.
Oh, really?
And mostly I just cook, and I just always love these beautiful colors. Can you tell me about some of these silks and some of these materials? Do you make the garments here, or are they already pre-made? Is that what Nasala does? Does she actually sew them together?
We both make some of the garments, and some of them we actually bring in as well. Depends on what our clients are looking for. And so if it's something that we don't have a lot of experience making, we will source them from other places if we can. And sometimes we will make things as well.
That's really awesome. So do you design them here yourself? Like, is that your forte to design them, or do you just...
Absolutely.
That's really awesome. So what would, like, if I were looking for a new dress to perform in, what would that run me?
It depends. Were you looking for more of a simple design or something more
When I
extravagant?
perform, I really go all out. I
So
like a
something
little
more
bit of
extravagant?
lace with structure. You know, I'm a little bit round, but that's okay. I like to show off the good things.
Lovely.
What kind of performance are you talking about?
I'm just saying, but you must enhance what you have. The assets need to be on display.
Yeah, assets.
If you have to ask, it is out your pay grade.
Truly, it's tasteful. It's tasteful.
So something with lace and silks, more on the extravagant side. You're probably looking upwards of 300 gold pieces.
300 gold pieces. Well, it's a little bit more expensive than what I used to pay in the day.
What would you pay in the day, Mom?
Well, a nice dress would be more along the lines of maybe 150 or 200 gold pieces, and they would do the fittings for me and all that.
Oh, we do
stuff.
fittings, of course, and alterations and all of that as well.
Oh,
But yes, the more extravagant, again, you're looking at close to 300, starting at 300 and up. little bit more simple, then you're looking at probably 80 gold and up.
Okay, well, I wouldn't necessarily go that low. I do enjoy quality.
Okay, so I'm gonna send them a message because I think I'm still outside. I don't think I've entered the
No,
shop. I'm gonna send them a message like, "How's it going? Is she in there? What are y'all doing?"
Oh, we're just gonna head out.
No.
Leo? Oh, wait.
Yeah, Mama V's talking about performing.
Well, that's what I am. I'm an entertainer. You think all I did was cook?
So do we know anything about Flint's wife?
We're actually gonna head that way now.
Oh my god.
Are y'all ready to go?
Jory's trying to get me to buy a room.
I think we can afford a bro.
She said use. I was like, I'm poor. Only 62 gold. She was like, use some of mine.
You know, I think I'm gonna have to come back and think about a nice dress, but I do have a friend who's a little under the weather today.
Oh my god!
But she would really love this place. She loves.
She can
Rose.
come back in her own time. We have things to do. If DeJoy wanted to be here so bad, she would have told somebody she was moving.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She said we can't leave until we get her something.
And then she said, "Shut up."
All right. She doesn't live that far. She could kind
Stop
of
her,
nowhere.
right?
Wait, let's go back. Jump on in and to my room.
All right, so you guys want to do?
Just head out.
Yeah. Y'all ready to go?
Okay.
Lovely establishment, Leo.
Thank you so much. I think we'll be back with my friend.
Oh, yes, we will.
One of my
Definitely.
other girls loves the silky things.
It's gonna be one whole day.
I look forward to it.
We do too. Nice earrings. See you later.
Thank you.
Oh, her goodbyes are so short.
Okay.
There's no use for them anymore.
Alright.
Alright, so what happened, guys?
So we learned. So Charles Flint's wife, Naysala, doesn't even own this shop. She just works here, but she lives 8 doors down. So
8. Okay. Alright, so is that what we're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Alright.
So heading down the road south from the marketplace, you get about 8 doors down, and you see a nice, like, 2-story home. Excuse me. And you see there's some light coming from the inside, so possibly somebody's home.
Oh dear.
George doesn't even be waiting on people.
No,
Just like
pretty
I'm still
quickly.
hanging back.
Still hanging back.
by the way.
Okay.
Me too.
All right. Pretty quickly, the door opens, and you see a tall, slender, dark-skinned woman. Again, got pointy ears. And she has like these very intricate, like, braids in her hair, and it comes back to like sort of like a little puff, like a Afro puff. Yes. May I help you?
Hello, we're looking for Miss Naysala.
Oh, hold on just a second. And I was hoping that was her. You hear, she kind of leaves the door cracked, but she kind of goes back in, and you hear, like, short conversation. And to the door, you see a quite short, actually, another, like, half elf. Oh my god, right there. She's about 5'3". She's slender. She's almost has like this tanned copper color to her skin, but with a tinge of green. Just a very slight tinge of green.
Cute.
She also has very intricate sort of braids, but hers actually go into this sort of like braided bun. And she goes, yes, you were looking for me?
Hello, Mrs. Flint. My name is Mama Vakri, and we are coming from the Rested Night, and we were the people that helped to put out the fire the other night. And in all of that hubbub, we've settled upon a mystery that people have. I gotta
Oh no, wait, you're getting a phone call?
go. No, my mom's groceries are here.
Oh wait, you have a delivery?
I don't know.
Oh wait, what the heck? You see, you're looking at the camera?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, pause.
Yeah, we'll take a
Real life
actually
happened.
did not take a break tonight, so we're gonna pause for not too long.
Oh no, wait, my mom is here. Never mind.
Okay, cool.
She got the door. Okay. Sorry. You gotta love HB delivery. Right?
Yep. Huh? Echo. Well, yeah, we got some. Okay. So, yeah, sorry, yeah, you were.
I'm sorry.
Mystery.
We settled upon a mystery. So it turns out that fire was due to somebody was actually investigating something down at the not the final roasting place.
Oh my god, late to roast. You're really on that.
Late to roast. And we actually were talking to Marsh a little bit, and he mentioned that your husband went missing quite some time ago. And so we've sort of been set on a path to sort of figure out what's going on.
Yeah, Charles disappeared, about a little over 2 years ago.
2 years.
Since then, I guess the trail has gone cold, as they say. And I don't think anybody has been looking for him for at least the past year.
And so then Marsh has only been there for about 2 years then, huh?
Yes.
And he mentioned that that you sold it to him.
Yes, I did.
And how long did you guys own it before that?
Oh, we've probably owned. Well, it's he, because he owned it before we got married.
Oh.
But I'd say he's probably owned it for about 70 years.
Oh, okay. And so you wouldn't by chance have any knowledge of a safe in there, would you?
I really didn't have much to do with the business of the factory, which is why I sold it. It was not something I was interested in.
But I hear you're really good at making dresses.
Yes. That's
So
what I
Leo
like to
told
do.
us.
Oh, you met Leo.
We did. We went there looking for you, and he said that you were here on your day off. And so, yeah, I was in there, I was looking for a dress. I'm quite an entertainer, although mostly I just cook these days. But I do enjoy a really nice dress. Fancy. Do you have any idea about any dealings that your husband had about 60 years ago? How long were you guys married?
We were married for about 30.
About 30 years?
Mm-hmm. But, again, I really didn't have much to do with the business. I worked at the silk shell, and he worked at the factory.
That's really awesome, though. How did y'all meet then? Did he come in for a coat or a suit or something like that?
And you hear, "Mom!" come from inside. And she goes, "Oh, excuse me for a second." And she goes back, and the other woman comes, and she's like, "Excuse us. Would you like to come in?"
Oh,
yes.
certainly.
Yes.
Alright, so I see them go into this house. I'm gonna send them a message like, do you guys want to handle it, or do you want more people? Like, do you think they would be open to this, to more people, or do y'all think it would be better if it would just y'all two?
No, coming in.
Yeah, can y'all come in? We don't even know this other woman. Who is she? I haven't even introduced myself. I'm so rude. Gosh.
The other woman guides you in to like a little sitting room, and like there's several like seats that you can take.
Excuse me, may I ask you? My name is George III. This is my mom, Mama Bakli. This is Moon. And this is Maz.
Yeah, I guess I'm in there now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, then you came up with this. May I ask you your name?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I am called Veriel. Most people just call me Very.
Very. Oh,
Very nice name. Very
She's
Very.
she's not 7 feet, right? No, she's
No,
got
she's-
the afro poof.
Yeah, she's close to 7 feet.
Do you live here, Very?
I do, yes.
Oh, do you work for Miss Naysala?
No.
She's probably her daughter.
Are you wives?
Yes, she is my wife.
Oh, when did you all get married? Congrats!
George never asked people if they work for somewhere.
I mean, she's like leading us around. I mean, like, how long have y'all been married? Congrats, by the way.
About 9 months.
Oh, it's a first
newlyweds.
marriage. Where'd y'all go on your honeymoon? Aberdeen? I heard it's nice this time of year.
This is why I stay away, so I don't have to hide my face.
We chose not to have a honeymoon with the kids.
Oh, yeah. How old are they? I need some friends, so.
She really does. Yes. It's not even like, yeah, please give George someone her age.
There was Elian.
I know. I like him.
no.
I like him. He was hot.
Hot is not a word you know is an adjective.
He was hot.
She goes, oh, yes, Tessa is 8, and Charles Jr. is 5 now, I think. What?
Nothing.
Huh?
Just talking to myself.
Charles
Yeah,
Jr. is 5. How'd y'all meet? You and Miss Naysala. Did you go into the shop for like a robe? Same story, Mama B said.
No, we met at one of the festivals in town.
What
Oh,
kind
you
of
know.
festival was it?
Yeah, what kind of festival? What is it?
The Nut Festival.
Maz, you don't ask any. Let George do her thing.
That's okay, Maz. You can
It's
do
not
it.
our. It's not our
What?
department.
I'm interested. What if I want to meet somebody? Have you thought about that?
Suddenly now you're interested in talking to people.
Maz, you're here to find love. Is that your journey?
Quiet, George.
Okay, and then after a few minutes, you hear a little bit of arguing between like kids, and then you hear like Naysala like say something, and then they quiet down, and then she comes back.
Oh no, what were Tessa and Charles Jr. up to? Having a little argument? I wish I had brothers and sisters.
Oh, kids being kids, you know.
Oh, I can relate to that. I really
Are they
can.
hungry? You know, I'm quite a famous cook, and I usually carry plenty of soup for my girls and things like that. I do happen to have a little bit extra fideo. Like, it's very hearty, it's very healthy. I keep these girls really healthy. and
She
it's
does.
tasty.
Look at my belly.
Would you like some soup with that? And maybe this way they'll settle down a bit because they'll have their bellies full.
I don't really know you.
Oh, I was like, I have some for you too. You can taste it.
Sure.
So then I, do you have any bowls? And then I take out my canteen and I promise the noodles just kind of look like worms, but they're not worms.
The spiel.
But I just, put, 3 or 4 servings out there for Naysala and Very and the 2 kids.
Yeah.
Don't worry, my girl's already 8. I just,
We've been eating fideo all day.
That's me all day.
Naysala, she goes and she kind of looks at it, and she takes a taste. Well, this is very good.
Yes, it comes from my country, and I do love making food for everybody.
You must share your recipe.
Oh, of course. It's just very simple. The hardest thing is to get the spices right, but I find if you add a little bit of extra cumin with the garlic, it really makes the flavors pop.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm sure the kids will enjoy it.
Just randomly feeding strangers people.
She has a lot of soup.
I carry lots of soup.
So, Naysala, I heard that you and Miss Very met at the Nut Festival. How exciting. Congrats on your marriage.
Oh, thank you.
I hope to find love someday. So does Maz. But what is the Nut Festival anyway? We're trying to learn about the town. I mean, we are local celebrities. We saved that inn that burned down. No big deal. Did you hear about that?
Oh my
I
God.
did hear about that actually. Yeah, we both did. And they look at with each other, shaking their heads. Yes.
Yeah, so since being here, we've been just so interested in this town's history. We're trying to learn as much as we can. We're learning about nuts, learning about books,
More nuts.
and more nuts. And then, learning about nuts, a name was brought up, Charles Flint. So we were trying to get to know anything about him. So, Tessa, wait.
You're right, Teresa.
I'm gonna talk to Very. Very, did you know Charles?
No, I did not get to meet Charles.
Mm-hmm. Oh, how unfortunate. Do you have any pictures of him?
Actually, I don't think I do. No, I can't say that I have actually any pictures. We weren't the type to have paintings done of ourselves and whatnot.
I understand that. I'm insecure as well.
Wow.
So let me ask you, you're mentioning an investigation. Do you know who was investigating him?
Oh, the local towns, I forget what they're called here. The local guard.
The local guard.
Oh yeah, the Burr Shields.
Burr Shields?
Burr
Yes,
Shields.
the Burr Shields.
Really?
Burr Shields. And do you know where their office is located?
I do believe it is on in the marketplace, but the north side of the marketplace.
North side.
They're burning up some paper over there.
Mm-hmm. And do you know, what happened in the weeks or a couple months prior to his disappearance? Was there, anybody that seemed to, have it out for him?
Not that I know of. Like I said, I didn't have much to do with the business. I did notice that, and I told the Burr Shields that he was acting a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
He was coming in a little later than usual than he would from work. I thought, they were just having trouble at the factory. Sometimes that would happen, but it was a little bit more often than when they would just have random trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And he seemed a bit nervous.
And do you know of anybody in particular he was working with at the time? Did he mention any business associates or farmers that were giving him trouble or anything like that?
I know he works a lot with Tomas. I don't know if they had maybe something going on between them or not. But I know that Tomas took a bit of his business to Toland's. Around that time. So I don't know exactly when, but he did take part of his business to Toland, so he was working with both the factories.
Oh, okay. So maybe Tomas thought that Charles wasn't working quite as quickly as he needed, and so
I'm
something to
again
that.
not too sure on that.
Jeez.
No.
Goodness.
The mics picked that.
Probably did.
I don't know what else. You want to jump in? Nah, something.
I'm telling y'all, there's a reason I'm letting y'all do the talking.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else to
I
ask.
need people to like us.
Oh.
Really? So you're saying people don't like you?
We tend to offend people.
Oh, guys.
How about I just save your ass if you get offensive?
I know, right? Yeah. Okay. You have a lovely home.
Thank you.
May I meet your children?
I'm gonna send a message on that note and be like, George, stop asking about people's children. Well, then I remember she is a child. I'm like, never mind.
I want to tell her about
ask her
Dira.
about.
Oh, God.
Ask her about. What is her name?
Zinir?
Ask. I send them a message. Please ask her about Zinir.
Oh yeah, you know my friend Zinir, or people call her the old hag. I don't really like that nickname, but
Can you not use old, please?
oh, the hag. I'm sorry, Mom. But yeah, she lives around here. She has a great house. Not as nice as your house, though. I will say. Have you met her before? You guys are like neighbors.
We were acquaintances a while ago. But nothing more. We'd see each other. We'd actually say hi. Like most people wouldn't talk to her after the incident, but I'd at least wave at her, and she'd wave back. That was about it.
I love it. Women supporting women. I love that.
And sometimes she would come into the shop and buy some clothing, but that was about it.
She did have nice robes. No wonder that's where she got them.
Yes.
Great shop you have.
Thank you.
So she doesn't really know her. Not friends.
Speaking of that incident, we do you have any idea what went on with that incident? Like,
Mainly just the rumors that have been going around. She attacked her boyfriend or something. I don't know.
all those lover quarrels, they
but-
can get a bit heated, can't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah. That was really all. I know she used a little magic and maybe partially brought down some buildings, but and a few people were hurt. That's really all I know. That's the gist of the story.
Oh, okay. Do you know if she had any, like, if Charles was familiar with her? Like, did they have any dealings?
Possibly. I want to say he maybe mentioned her name like once or twice, but it might have been before me, before we got married.
Oh, okay.
That he had like known her, maybe. I don't know.
But not that he had, like, worked with her or anything like that?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I sent a message. Do we believe her?
Well, not do I believe it.
She seems nice.
Make an insight check.
Jeez, what was my insight? I think it was something. Hey, turn on! Oh, shit.
This is not our night.
Wait.
Well, you haven't gotten into any scrapes yet, so that's good.
Oh, thank God for that, because today is not the day.
Somebody might have died.
10.
10. She seems like she's telling the truth, like, pretty trustworthy. She doesn't, like, look like she's trying to hide anything or, like, nervous or anything.
She probably just moved on.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if I can't find him, fine. Let's keep it going.
Let's keep it going. Wow. Someone's gotta help me with these kids.
Wow. I mean, the woman is near 7 feet tall. She's gorgeous. I can see her in my mind. Of course, she'd be willing to take help.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
I agree with Moon on this one.
What do you do when a near 7 foot tall, beautiful person comes? What?
Comes
You say, hey, I got kids. Want to help me raise them?
And now we know Kalia's. Amazon
no
with braids and an afro puff. I'm gonna go find them.
There's no way. Oh my God. No, I wouldn't even, like, the crick in your neck alone.
I dated a 6.5 foot guy. It
I'm
wasn't
sorry.
that
I think we're digressing a little.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Wow.
So,
I think we're good.
I think we're good.
Do y'all have any friends?
Oh, God.
That's rude.
You know what I mean?
That's mean.
You can get friends. You barely got friends.
Moss.
That's really low hanging fruit.
Hey!
George is not picky.
George is
Well,
not
True.
Did you really ask that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
This is Mama B. This is your
Oh.
job. I'm gonna walk out the door. I'm like, oh my god,
Where
they're
are you
not asking
going?
for matchmake. I'm just gonna walk outside and not be here
I'll
while
find one
you.
for you too.
I'm good. I am so good. Thank you, Maz. I'm good. I'm going outside.
What sort of friends were you looking for?
You know,
Oh my
friends
god.
with dates.
No, you're not trying to get us information. You're trying to get laid.
George, shut your mouth.
I mean, that was Katie. That wasn't George.
Well, then, Katie, I'll tell you later after the show.
We may have a few.
Or how about, where would I go to meet people? You know, said some women.
I'm so glad that I'm not in there right now.
For me
Oh
and
my God.
Moon, actually.
For you
Oh.
and food.
Yeah.
Well, they met at the Nut Festival,
Were
Moss.
you looking for...
No.
No, don't ask. No.
Oh, no. No.
temporary or permanent?
No! That's gold.
Maybe a mixture of both.
Oh, Lord. Both.
Huh?
Well,
Oh my god.
as far as
Why do I hang around
temporary,
with y'all?
you may want to visit the Nut and Honey.
Honey. Are you gonna write that down, George?
Honey, yes, I
Write it down. We need to remember this.
And
I am not in this. My
Did you make
name
that up on the
is
fly?
Bennett,
Husband is a little
and
bit
I
No,
ain't in it.
it's been ready.
oh no! You knew that we would go there eventually. Honey.
Yes, that is very important. I must write this down.
I'll underline it for you. We could go there though to find info.
The other spot is just more of a hangout, a bar, tavern.
What's it called?
What is it called?
It is
Solid.
called
Yes, we're listening.
Uh-oh.
My ears are open.
What's Crackin'?
What's crackin'? We obviously have to go there.
Well, I mean, you won't be able to go in, George, but you know.
Hey, I have a hat of disguise. I'll use it to go into the gay club. Wait, the gay club, right?
Anyway.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This is very useful information.
I said I'm outside, and I sent them a message, y'all. Please stop her. Whatever she's doing, I know it's no good. Please stop her.
I am very
Please.
thankful I needed this information. My
Mama
friend's
B,
a little bit skittish,
get
so
your
I didn't know if she
people,
wanted temporary or
please.
long term. So that's why I asked for both.
Mama B, stop her. Y'all are still inside the house.
I'm sorry. We've been working really hard. It's been a stressful time for us. I'm sorry, my girls are getting a little stir crazy. But it was really very nice meeting you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for giving us so much information.
I hope they drag you by the tail out of the
You're
house.
welcome.
But I hope maybe one of these days, I'm hoping we have another friend who's very nice and she loves fine silk robes. So maybe we'll catch you at the silk show.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you.
Have a
Yes,
good
you
afternoon.
will definitely see us.
All right.
Yes.
They walk you to the door.
Pushing Maz by the just get out.
Is my
Alrighty.
fur nice and soft while you're pushing?
I
Check.
don't know.
It's a fur check.
It's a fur check.
Roll on that. Roll the worst D20 you have.
What did I roll for a fur check?
For a check.
Doesn't matter. Roll the worst. Here, I'll lend you the first D20.
No, take yours.
Damn it.
Oh, they rolled this one.
Was it a good one?
Yes.
What was it?
I'm not telling you.
Tell me. Just tell it. Come on.
Yeah.
Be honest. Please.
We're listening to the DM now.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Hello, DM.
Alrighty, so you leave the house.
We leave. I
Yes.
drag her out. I said, it's time to go. Let's go.
Oh my god.
Alrighty.
Alright, what time is it, guys?
It's getting, evening time at this point. You guys have been running around all
So
day.
was that fruitful? Like, are we looking for Charles? What happened?
I think that she was not exactly with him long enough to be there around that time. So
But she was with him for 30 years.
she was with him for 30 years,
What
but
happened
he
was 60 years ago.
Yeah, but what happened was 60 years ago.
Mhm.
So I think maybe we need to see if we can open up this cold case and find Charles. I think he would have the information that we need.
Oh, so Charles is
Do you
the
think
key.
we need to look for him? Who's gonna? They stopped looking for him. Like,
They
where are
did,
we gonna go?
but they still have information. We have information.
Mhm.
We know that Tomas took some of his business away from Charles around that time, and I'm wondering if that wasn't a reason for his disappearance, or what information did they not pick up on? I'm sure that if we had a second or third or fourth set of eyes on that information, it wouldn't be quite so cold.
So you think they're connected?
I think they are
Probably.
connected.
Probably.
Considering that he
Everything in
was
this damn town
the
is
only
not
person
related.
who could probably get into that safe where we found it.
That's true. In the factory.
Yeah.
Right. Alright. So are we going back to the inn? What are we doing? Are we looking?
Well, we're so close. I know it's evening, but we're so close to the burr shields as it is.
I think we should go.
Sure.
So we go.
That's fine.
Okay.
And where are we going?
To the
Burr
cops,
shields.
pretty
Burr
much.
shields.
We're going to the cops.
The caps.
Moon, you want to talk to him?
Come on.
Y'all know I can't. Like, I have to be. Yeah.
I really hope there's not more than 4 cups because I only have 4 servings left.
I don't think Fideo works on the popo.
Believe me. Everybody loves the fideo.
Alright.
So you guys leave Nisala and Mary's house on your way to the Burshield headquarters. That's on the north side of the market. And as you guys are traveling through the market, you see Rin. He's running.
Rin is running?
Yes, Rin is running.
Like hardcore running or like just
If he's running and not
Running
if
with
it's-
a purpose,
it's
he's
a problem.
running. He's running with a purpose. And he's like looking around.
Is he looking for us?
He is. He sees you all,
George called
and
to him.
he's
Mr. Ren, are you okay?
He's like out of breath,
Mhm.
and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad I found you." He said, "Tomas, he's in trouble."
What?
So he came running to the inn, and something is attacking his grove.
Oh, of course.
Oh dear.
why would he that?
Something is attacking.
He ran to the inn. He wanted to know who the people were that saved the inn, and he wanted me to find you.
No good
he
deed
needs help.
goes unpunished.
We are heroes. We're the town's heroes. So, Mr. Ren, what is attacking his grove?
He didn't tell me information. He just said that some of his workers have been attacked, and they're there right now, and he needs some help.
It's such a shame.
I guess we go.
I guess we go. Guess we roll initiative.
No. We're not even there yet. I'm gonna hang back just a little bit.
So
That was the short fence one, right?
yeah.
Short
I'm just
fence.
gonna look over real quick.
I'll peek over.
So you guys
Yeah, for real, just peek over.
chase after Rin. And
I don't run.
I
walk quickly.
Whatever. You walk quickly with Rin until you get to the outskirts of Tomas's grove, and you hear a couple of screams, and as you're kind of walking along, how are you approaching this?
I guess we're just looking over the fence.
Like,
right?
I want to
just looking over the fence.
around. Because if somebody is attacking, I want to. I don't know what.
See if there's
this is-
anybody else
Yeah,
around.
I
Yeah,
want
I
to see
wanna
how many
kind
there
of-
are and where they're coming from.
Okay.
Yeah,
But he
I
said
wanna
something.
I want to pause a little bit slower than them.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah,
you guys are kind of like
I
along
kind of want to.
the road, but along the fence, kind of
Stealth.
looking, peering in, looking to see what you can see. You, like I said, you hear some screams. You do see a couple of people running towards the fences in different directions, and you see that there is a large
This is never gonna go good.
creature that is chasing after this guy. It has spikes coming out of its back. Its fur looks almost like hard, like it's kind of looks spiky, but like hard, and its eyes are glowing red.
Of course.
So
You see a dire squirrel
What?
chasing this guy.
Oh my god, how big is it?
It's about the size of a
Damn, it's
of a
Eleni's. Where are
like
you?
I don't want to say like a medium-sized dog.
Oh my god.
That's a big squirrel.
It's a
Yes,
rabbit
it is.
Is there
squirrel.
more than one?
All you see is one right now,
So squirrel for dinner.
and this is where we're gonna end tonight.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, we don't have our tanks.
Well, it's like already 8:30,
I
so
think we can kill one squirrel.
We can kill a squirrel.
We can kill a squirrel.
Yeah, but who's gonna take that first hit?
Me.
Exactly. It's not gonna
George.
be me either.
George can take a hit.
Yep. So fun times, guys.
We learned a lot in
Wow.
this session.
Yeah.
We learned a lot.
This was definitely a fact-finding session. But you guys got a lot of information, so
And
a lot of
definitely,
a lot of leads, exactly.
Shout out to
So,
George for being an annoying little preteen and being able to talk to people, because I don't think I would have gotten near as much information.
Mama B, I felt like led that pack. Thank you.
No, you
it
didn't.
was-
It
it
was
was-
good.
She was
Yeah,
there as
backup.
she made you look normal.
Oh yeah, child, yeah. Aw, thanks for letting me
me and Moon stayed in the background mostly.
Yeah.
But I do have
Again.
to say, I know we're gonna end up going to that robe story.
So yeah.
Oh, of course,
so,
yeah.
And we're
yes.
going to the
I
Night
am
Honey meeting
staying-
story.
Everybody
staying at the inn.
Go to what's
Oh my
cracking
God,
first.
I am staying at the sleepy night, rested night, whatever the
We'll
fuck.
bring you honey back, don't worry.
Aww.
All
We
right,
got you.
guys.
She don't want the nut and honey.
All right, so
Teeny.
thank you to all that joined us tonight for episode 7 of our History Rising campaign. Again, we will be streaming again December 15th, and then we're going to skip the next one for the holidays and to hopefully come back with some prizes January 11th. So that is our schedule for the next couple of episodes, and we hope you can join us then. If not, check us out on YouTube. I'll have all the videos up pretty soon on YouTube and on our podcast, which right now the name escapes me, but I will post all of that stuff up.
The Podbean. Podbean?
Yes, thank you. Podbean. Yes, we're on Podbean. And so you can check us out on there as well. And then we're on Twitter and Facebook and all the other things as well. Discord.
Yeah,
So, again, thank you for joining us. We are glad that we can finally make it back.
Yes.
We missed you all. We missed each other.
Withdrawals.
Yes. All right. And remember, you are always welcome at our table. Good night.
Bye.